Good evening.
Good
Hey,
evening.
good
How's everyone?
evening, y'all. Good.
All right, I got a little background noise there. Everybody's doing good? Everybody's doing good?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, well, thank you to the ladies who coming back on the show. I truly appreciate it, the lovely ladies. It's ladies' night.
Mhm.
I couldn't play that song again
Oh, okay.
because I almost got demonetized. So,
Mm,
all right, so I'm going to start a question and answer thing here. I should have did it while the music was playing, but this is for the ladies. I know they're going to blast this. What are men doing that is ruining dating? All
mm.
right, so ladies, put that in it's going to be in the chat here, so you guys can respond. And hello to all the people out there in the world. Hello, and
All
thanks.
right.
Welcome to Captain Hunt. Captain Hunt. I do it all the time. Dr. L's podcast. Um, Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to start going around. I know that most of the ladies out there are known by you guys. However, I still want to give you guys a chance to introduce just in case we have some new listeners, whatever. So we'll start with Trey Kearney. If you could and would introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Trey Kearney. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I am specialized in helping men, women, and families heal from the devastation of infidelity. And I have a YouTube channel, New You Nation Network YouTube channel, that is all about relationships.
Cool. Thank you so much. And Miss Anita.
Anita Stoudmeyer. My platform is Better Love Movement everywhere. I work with men and women, and the goal is to teach everyone the healthy skills and tools that they're going to need to have and keep the relationship of their dreams.
Very good. Thank you guys so much for that. So Garrett is saying hello. Yoli says hello. Y Square says hello. And Be Mindful, who's in the building, says hello. And if you would introduce yourself as Be Mindful.
All right. Good evening, y'all. I am Be Mindful. I'm calling myself a love and intimacy coach. I think I kind of fell in that lane when I, switched my content over to talk about, sex. Because I ain't shying away from it. Sex, in particular for mature adults. When I say mature, I mean us, who are older, 45, 50 and over. And I do coach men and women. And, for some reason, I think men are resonating with me more. So most of my clients are men. So I am highly appreciative of that. And I do appreciate any man who's out there considering hiring a female relationship coach. So yeah, that is Be Mindful.
Mhm.
Okay. That's interesting. I kind of want to dig into that, but I won't. If you guys could
You
just
can.
okay, well maybe later. So I do want to know what and if it's too personal, you have to tell us. But what brought you to this field? Was it failed relationships? Was it the need to do better, self reflection? How'd you guys get into this particular field? We'll start with you, Trey. How did you get into this?
I committed adultery, and
Oh
it
Jesus.
turned my life upside down. I mean, that's how I got into this. I committed adultery. It turned my life upside down. And I went on a journey, and I started going live on Periscope every morning.
Mhm.
And people were just coming in, and I was just telling them, like, my life is in shambles. And I was just sharing my journey. And women started saying, because I had a husband and a boyfriend who was married. So I was a married side chick. So the wives could resonate with me because the man I cheated on my husband with cheated on me. So I felt the pain of the wife. And then I was the side chick. So the wives were asking, why would I do that? So it kind of sort of just went into, they started to understand. I was like, well, I didn't do it to hurt the wife. I wasn't even thinking about her. I just wasn't in the
Mhm.
good space in my life. I was dysfunctional. And then I wrote a book, It's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity. People
Mhm.
started to ask me to speak places, and then women started resonating. And then I wrote a book, It's Healing Time, Men Hurt Too. And like V said, men started gravitating to me more than women.
Mhm.
And that's how I got into this relationship business.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. I didn't know,
Expected that.
but but I just okay. We'll go to you, Anita.
I've been a relationship scientist for the last 25 years. So I have always had an affinity for relationships as someone who was a former fearful avoidant attachment style. There was a lot of chaos growing up. There was just a whole lot. And my mom's been married 3 times. My dad's on his fourth marriage, and I just wanted to understand, what are the mechanics of getting married the first time and staying married and that marriage being happy and fulfilling. I wanted to understand that for myself. Now, I've been married, I've also been divorced. And that kind of started me on that journey of really understanding the mechanics of healthy relationships. So I became a therapist, I became a licensed therapist, and then, I became a couples therapist. So that's pretty much 90% of the clients that I work with, they are couples. And a lot of people will say, well, you got to be married to be a couples therapist. Baby, I've been doing this for 25 years. I have, 15 years of clinical experience. And then I just have real life experience. I've gotten a lot of experience through other people and just hearing their story and seeing how their relationship dynamics work. So to me, the knowledge is the knowledge, regardless of the relationship status of the person giving it. So
That
I
part.
want to say that because I keep getting that, and I'm just like, huh? Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you. V.
Uh, well, um, well, I was cheated on. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say, Trey, I applaud you for your honesty.
Thank
Okay,
you.
a lot of people ain't gonna admit that, right? But I was married 12 years, and then I did get divorced. Cheated on a couple of times, I don't even know if the second time was cheating. All I know is he didn't come home that night, and when he did come home the next morning, he found that his key didn't work. And I did go ahead and get a divorce. It's a long story behind that, but I had lost my sister, and when I was married and I caught him cheating, my sister, when she was alive, she was like, no, just stay married. I don't want you out here doing it by yourself. And the night that he didn't come home was the first birthday that we were celebrating of my sister since her passing. So I
Wow.
took it as a move on now. It's a wrap,
Mm.
right? And I took that as a hint, a big one. And I divorced him. We were hanging out, we were friends after that, as friendly as we could be, but we were hanging out, we were traveling, and we were doing all those things. But what I did not realize when I finally started dating again, that I was damaged. And I had to go through a whole lot of healing, and I didn't know, it was a toxic marriage. There were so many things I went through, but it did lead to my overall healing. I hired somebody to really help me through all those things because they were showing up in my dating life.
Mm.
Went on a few hundred dates with a few hundred men when I was single for those 8 years. And like I said, got help, got coaching. I was an avoidant, not because of my childhood, because my parents are, still happily married after 52 years. But when you're in a toxic relationship that you're, constantly being gaslit, in a relationship with someone who's probably an undiagnosed narcissist, it does damage you. So anyways, I got into coaching because, I went through my own journey, and became educated, because when you go through your journey, you have to understand your own triggers. And I didn't for several years, but, went through my own journey, did the healing, and started helping other people. And just to answer the quick question, I have raised 3 sons. My youngest has officially graduated high school, so I have no more minor children, praise God.
Yeah.
And I have 2 grandsons, right? And I have two grown nephews. And I think because I don't side, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I side with women, right? And then the ability to communicate with men, I've been communicating with men for the last 30 years as I've been raising men. Right. And I think that's why men just gravitate towards me, just because the way I communicate and the way I behave.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. So you feel that men, and I want to ask you the same question to Trey, um, and you can probably chime in this too, Anita. You think that men gravitate towards the ladies, or between you two in particular, because of your communication style, or what do you think that it is that men are looking for, and particularly for coaching, that females are not able to give them?
That females females are not, or men, male coaches are not able to give them.
Male coaches are not able to give
The-
males whatever they're needing. Why are they going to the women?
Well, I mean, unless they dating a man, I mean, why not? You don't you want to know a woman's perspective? Then why would you come and ask a woman? So I'm gonna give you exactly. I've dated a lot, and if you want an honest opinion, and I don't sugarcoat anything, I'm going to give you my honest opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think men come to me because, like V, I have 3 sons. I have a 30-year-old, 25-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And I started advocating for men unconsciously because people would say, my daughter, my daughter's body is a temple and all of this stuff. And I'm like, so is my son's. And my son deserves to be treated well. And just because you're not putting your hands on him doesn't mean you're not abusing him. If you yelling and screaming at my son and cursing. And when I wrote my book, Men Hurt Too, I just talked about how I had damaged my son, how a mother is the first woman to disappoint her son, which can cause damage if the conversations are not had. And men just started listening because I was just being really honest about the struggles of men that I saw from the outside looking in from the inside. Because I raised 3 men. So I saw my son's first heartbreak. I saw my son when he was insecure. I saw all of these things. And I said, and that's why the name of my book is Men Hurt Too. Because I started, again, unconsciously, like V said, it wasn't a decision. It was unconsciously advocating for them and saying things that made sense to them. And they just felt heard.
Very good. Are you seeing that too, Anita? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I recently made a video about not being a gender loyalist. And I think people understand, I mean, and they know this about me, that the only thing I'm loyal to is righteousness. The only thing I'm loyal to is God's kingdom. So I wouldn't even call myself a political loyalist. I wouldn't even call myself a race loyalist. I wouldn't even call myself a Christian loyalist because, especially as long as we're down here in an earth suit, you got people of all races, all nationalities, all genders, all religions cutting up. And that's just, that's what I can't stand. I can't stand anyone that is just full of foolishness. So I think men find that refreshing that I am not a gender loyalist. I'm not a girl's girl because I will call a woman out with the quickness when it comes to the nonsense. That don't make no sense. Everybody have heard that on my platform many times. And then I'll say that to men too. That don't make no sense. so that's what I think it is. It's unique to come across a woman that is like that.
Very good, very good. Thank you guys for your input there. We say hello to some people when we get into the show here. Hello to D. Thompson. Hello to Pierre Tolliver. New York Chocolate. Hello. I said hello to you, Yoli. She's also saying glad your experience, you using your experience to help others. I think that was more towards you, Trey. Peaceful Life, as far as I know, would not be joining us tonight. Let's see. Good evening, East Point. Good evening, Groovin Globally. Jennifer Williams, hello. Let's see. Who else is here? More with Less. October. Let's see. Blondie Monique, hello. Let's see.
And in the infamous words of Dr. L, hit the like button.
Please hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. There's a bunch of people watching from different platforms, so make sure you hit the like button. Greetings to you, High Vibe. All right, so let's see. We'll get into it here. So last time we did a show, you each presented some videos. We're going to do the same thing tonight, although we don't have as many videos to show. But I do want to give you guys a chance, and of course, this is your chance to tell us what the men are doing wrong. Since the men are going to you guys so much, so and because presumably you all date men. you all do date men, right? All right.
Yes.
So so therefore you will know, you'll have a double insight to give us. So we'll start off with I thought I had this queued up here, my fault. So we'll start off with a couple of videos from Miss Anita. And this first one, it's like 8 minutes. Did you want to play the whole thing, or how? I mean, is that, or how far do you want to go?
I want you to stop maybe in the middle, and then we're
All right.
gonna play the rest of it. Yeah, I tried my best to pare it down. I really did. I was like, dang it.
All right.
um, but I want you to play maybe half, and then we'll stop in the middle, and then we'll play the rest of it.
Okay.
Want to help you guys develop the confidence, the charisma, and the skill sets and the abilities to be able to position yourself as a high-valued man so that you can walk up to a beautiful girl who's not like that, who's not running an OnlyFans, who doesn't have a massive social following, isn't trying to vie for other men's attention online, that you can go up and talk to. And like I said, some of these girls, on a scale of whatever, 9 to 10, they might be a 5, 6, or a 7, or an 8. That's okay. You're no 10 yourself, fella. You're not. So as you develop yourself, maybe if you develop a relationship with someone else who's a 5 or a 6, you guys can grow together. You guys can raise together. You can nurture one another. You can reach for your goals together. And you can together go from a 5 to a 6 to a 7 to an 8 to a 9. What a fucking awesome experience that would be. You can heal each other together. But if you're too busy living your life on social media and judging these chicks and then saying that all chicks are like that, you're wrong. And women, if you're so vain and you are so materialistic that you think the only kind of guy you deserve is some dude who's 6 foot or taller, who's rich and charismatic and funny, what are you bringing to the table other than a body count, other than your inability to cook and to provide a peaceful place that he can come after a hard day's work and rest and relax and put his guard down? I can tell you that that's what we men are looking for. And men, you've got to step up and be that guy, worthy of a woman who's willing to do that, to turn a house into a home, to keep it clean and peaceful, and provide the food, the love, and the respect that you're looking for. But for that to happen, dudes, you've got to earn. We've talked about this before. You got to be charismatic. You got to learn how to earn money. You got to show that you can be resourceful. You've got to have confidence. These used to be things that men just went out and did, acquired, got, developed. Now it's like, why should I have to do that to get a girl? Because that's what we have to do, you dumb. That's what we have to do. Because it is factory installed in this girl ever since her ancestors, who were cave ladies, girlies, cave chicks. They wanted a jacked caveman who could hunt and protect and provide so that they can have your babies and they can feel sheltered. It's genetically encoded in them. Just a modern version of that is making money. The modern version of that is being able to pay rent or a mortgage. And if you're using some kind of stupid excuse, but the inflation and the economy and the housing market and the job, shut the up, would you? Just shut the up. It is why so many of you are underperforming as men, that so many of these chicks are like, I can go out and make more money, with or without OnlyFans, by the way. I'm not saying all these chicks are out there making money with OnlyFans. I got plenty of awesome, independent, powerful women working in this building on my leadership team. They're making 6 figures. And these women, they're making the money, they're raising their kids, they're taking care of the household. So what exactly are you doing? And the big point I'm making.
All right, that's like halfway through, so I've been cussed out enough here. So you You cave chicks here. You guys you can start. Go ahead, Anita.
So I enjoy Bedros Koulian. I enjoy his podcast. The profanity is the only issue. However, he is one of many podcasts that I listen to for business. I listen to him to be motivated and inspired. But every now and again, he will make a podcast about relationships or about dating. And, the things that he mentioned, confidence, charisma, I would add being healthy, being fit, and developing yourself. These are the things that a lot of men today, they've gotten away from. They've gotten away from, as he's going to speak in the next 4 minutes, the gift of gab, right? As I've stated many times before, in my generation, men saw picking up women or getting numbers as a sport. Like that was something they regularly went out and did. They developed the skill, that gift of gab. They developed the skill of going up to people, asking for their number, small talk, buying drinks, or however they did it. And we have completely gotten away from that. And what's so interesting is men will do this online. Like they have an online version of that, but even that's awkward. Even that is very weird. It's very awkward. So, yeah, I think that is hardwired in us, that we want someone who's resourceful. We want someone who's, going to be that protector, that knows how to take care of things. And again, I'm not saying the man has to make millions of dollars, but I think it's the lack of ambition, it's the lack of drive. If you're making $40,000 and you have time to play, the Xbox all weekend, no, to me, that's time that you could be spending trying to figure out how to make more money. So, men are saying, oh, well, the average salary is 40 or 50. Okay, tell me the average time that man is watching porn, that man is playing video games. Again, it's one thing to play video games here and there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about men who are coming home every night. They're playing video games for 6 hours a night. Bruh, use that time to make money. Use that time in a more productive way. If you're making 30 or $40,000 a year and you have time to play Xbox, 6 hours a night or PS5 or whatever, that's unacceptable. To me, you could do better. You could be better, as I always say. So those are my
Okay.
thoughts.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. I'll get to the other cave chicks in a second here.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask. So you brought up about the money. And you also talked about the sport of getting girls numbers and all that.
Mhm.
What is the what do you say to the men who are refusing to be interactive, whatever, and because of the possible humiliation ritual, their interaction or they're trying to get somebody's number will go viral, or something along those lines. I'm sure we've all seen that where girls are putting the screenshots. I've seen it anyway. It's putting the screenshots of someone sliding into their DMs or asking them how much money. I mean, what do you say to that kind of pushback?
I think that a man has to use his gut instinct. He has to use some level of discernment. Now, I said this just the other day. Sadly, I think most women are emotionally immature. So, I mean, it's 2025. Okay. So I don't know a way around that. I think most women are emotionally immature. So you're going to have to pick and choose very carefully that who you decide to take that chance with, but it is still taking a chance. That's life. You still got to get out there and take a chance. You got to live. You got to try. You got to do. So use your discernment, use your gut instinct, right? I don't share all my deepest, darkest secrets with every man I've been on a date with. I use my discernment. And if I've been out on 2 or 3 dates and something about this guy just don't feel right, like I don't know if I can trust this guy, like then I'm not going to share my deepest, darkest secrets with him.
Right,
So
I get that. I get that,
yeah,
but we're saying you're, and I've talked about this on my own channel, right? We as kids, we would go to amusement parks and we would have the exact competition. Who can get the most numbers, right?
yep.
I won a couple of times, just so everybody knows. I won a couple of times. But um that turning down ritual is vastly different from today. And guys today don't want to take that. It would be one thing if you just turn me down, oh no, whatever. Her friends are standing over there giggling and whatever. But now the whole world may be giggling at you. You have to see that there may be a difference in that.
It,
I don't
it,
I don't think that people our age should be engaging in screenshots. Pick up the phone and call somebody. Like, I don't think we should. I don't even think a woman my age and men need to stop dating women with that age in that age bracket that do that kind of stuff. So, of course, if you're dating a 35-year-old, you're going to have 35-year-old women experiences. We're talking about mistakes men are making in dating. You want to go and DM a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old, and get screenshot instead of dealing with a mature woman your age that you can't manipulate, or for whatever reason you're going that route. So you're putting yourself in a situation to be screenshotted or whatever they call, or laughed at on social media because you jump into somebody's DMs instead of being a mature man and dealing with mature women your own age. Because I can guarantee you that me, V, and Anita ain't screenshot nothing. And the women that I'm in contact with that are my age, and I'm around women, I'm 55. So I don't even know a lot of women my age who actually engage in social media like that. We're here because we work on social media, like our brands and all of this different stuff.
yep.
But 9 times out of 10, women 45 years and up, they're not on social media screenshotting DMs or putting their screenshot from their text messages. That's y'all out here messing with these young, immature women who are supposed to be doing that with young, immature men. So step your game up. Stop messing with these little girls, talking about 50-year-old women. They all the same. They all doing this. And no, we're not. That's why you're in a situation where you're getting screenshots.
Okay, I definitely hear that. I definitely hear that. So the guy, what's his name? Baloo, what's his name? The
Bedros
guy,
Koulian.
Bedros Koulian, is presumably talking to men sub 35. Presumably.
We 55, 50.
I get that. But he's
Yeah.
talking to. So first of all, Chandra Sumara said she's seen older females do it. And second of all, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Mature people shouldn't be behaving this way, but some are, as Anita said, some are just immature.
Right.
And then there is the idea of, he's talking to young guys who are not approaching, need to get themselves together, work on their arts and ability to talk. That may be an inhibition to them talking or stepping out or being more bold as my generation was. I'm just saying. You have any thoughts about that, V?
Sorry, I had to go on mute because my dog barking at these kids playing outside. So, just referencing, I'm not going to address the screenshot thing. Like I'm like Trey. I don't know too many women that's out here, but hey, I don't doubt it because we see. I mean, you scroll on social media long enough, you're going to see all kinds of things. So I don't doubt that. There are some people doing some ignorant things, but they keep getting the same ignorant results and wonder why. Right. But as far as like the video, I do think, because I'm definitely not one-sided, but I do think that men do need to level up. And I've said it many, many times before. You'll see men and okay, so my oldest son would be like, "No, Ma, we don't go for the 8, 9s, and 10s because they're good to look at, absolutely, but a lot of times there's no substance there.
Right.
Especially if, and this is for the younger folks, right? Especially if they're on social media, they're leading with their beauty and then they wondering why men are using them, right? And just like if a man is leading with his money, like he want to show his money, he want to show his car. I got this Facebook friend and I tried to unfriend him, right? And then he sent me a message and he was like, I'm like, so are we notified when you unfriend people on Facebook? Because he sent me a message right away. Okay, well then I got a message and was like, V, what are you doing? And I'm thinking, because all you doing is showing your money and then do not be surprised when somebody is attracted to what you're showing, your house, your cars, your this and that. It's like, can we stop being surprised if you lead with that energy? I mean, that's how you're going to attract people that's not even interested in you. They're just interested in your money, your booty, your boobies, you know, in the way you look, right? So, but anyway, I digress on that part. But when I see like men, they will want, you know, for the average man, I don't know about this 40, 50K, because I'm like, Garrett, I don't know where you live, because I'm in the DMV. Don't no man around here on average make no 40. Well, my interns, my baby interns that work for me, they make 55,000 and they ain't got their college degree yet. So that's why I'm like, where is the average man making 40? Maybe in Mississippi, okay, or West Virginia, but not around here, right? Okay, so yeah, I was like, but okay, I know maybe across the U.S. I don't live across the U.S. I live in the D.C. area. Anyways,
okay,
you know,
but the 55-year-old guy, the guy who's making 55K or whatever the average is for the DMV area, I don't know what it is, but whatever
it's probably about 150. If I were to guess for an average black man,
there's no way average men are making 150 grand in the DMV.
The average educated black man in the DMV.
No. And in New York and New Jersey?
I think so. At least 100. At least 100.
Okay.
Dr. L. I mean, Anita, am I lying about that? Like, you live close to the DMV? No, I'm like, yes. The average.
Yeah, that's an expensive area.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. You want to play the rest of the video here?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Allowed the opposition to declaw you, defang you, to take away your masculinity, to take away your rightful role as a man, which is to hunt, to provide, to protect, to preside. And all of these things are what women want. And in the absence of it, because you have allowed yourself to get feminized, you have allowed yourself to get out of shape, you haven't developed any skills to make money, and most of all, you don't have the gift of gab. On that same episode that I was watching on the, what was it called? The CEO, the Diary of a CEO. The guest on there was like, hey man, if you can make a chick laugh, you can get her naked. And that's so true, right? Like, chicks want to laugh. They want to feel safe. They want to know that they're protected. They want to know that you're like, I got you. I got us. We're good. You don't have to worry about going out there and making money. But you do have to worry about turning this house into a home, keeping it peaceful, showing me respect and giving me love, making delicious food, not bringing drama in. So fellas, the moment you start doing your part, I believe as men, we are the leaders in society. Call it what you want. We are the leaders in society. You can equality this to death. But men are the leaders in society. Now, there may not be a lot of men out there stepping up, which creates more opportunity for the rest of us. But I'm saying, fellas, come join the party. Get out from behind the screen. Get out from your bedroom. Get out from the basement. Put on clothes that fit you. Comb your hair. Brush your teeth. Learn to be funny. Learn to communicate. Make eye contact. Walk tall. Lose the fat. Get in shape. Eat right, be marketable, learn to market yourself, be desirable, smell good, take the plaque off of your teeth. Some of you, your mouths look like you chewed on mud for the last 2 hours. I run into you, man. I run into you at places, at events. You got sweaty palms. You can't articulate a message. Like, you want to take a picture? You want we meet? Great, let's take a picture. You bumble around for 20 minutes trying to say, can we take a picture? Just say, hey, B, I'm a big fan. Can we take a picture together? Oh, by the way, this is what I do to help society and humanity. Don't hero worship me or anyone else, man. You're the man, don't you know? You're the man. And the moment you see yourself as the man, the moment that you decide that you are the man on the white horse that's going to gallop in and save the day for yourself and the people around you, that is when women will find you desirable. I believe women don't want to go and work for all these hours and get all this pay, because women do get emotionally frazzled easier. As men, we can deal with stress more. Women don't want to go do the things that men have done. They are having to do it because there's an absence in you doing it. So you can call this politically incorrect, but I'm calling out the women. I'm also calling out the men. And I believe the men have the greater responsibility because we are the leaders. We are the leaders of society. And the moment that you start stepping up and making yourself more desirable, your 5'8" frame can feel like 6'4" if you just develop some charisma, if you get in shape, if you have some confidence, you know how to make them laugh and make them think and make some money, man. Go out there and earn. That is how we hunt. The modern day hunting is making money. And if you don't, then you're stuck with your AI girlfriend and your But guess what? You can't go out to a dinner with that little doll. You can't go have life experiences. And right now you're like, well, I can go do that solo with my friends. But as you get older, you're going to want a companion. You're going to want to look back on memories and experiences. And you won't have that with your little buddy. You just won't. So with that said, I hope this message landed.
All right, before I give you chicks the the cave chicks the average income according to AI for median income for men is $77,000.
Okay.
So, and
That's
what women
nationally,
earns?
and I
Yeah.
and I
No,
understand
no,
that.
no, no.
Yeah.
That's the DMV area, DC, Virginia, Maryland. That's what
What
AI
year
says.
was that?
I just Googled. I just AI'd it.
For the
That's what AI.
educated black man.
Okay, that's not average. That's not
Okay.
average. That's the average income. Now, if you
Mhm.
want to put in education or I didn't ask for bachelor's degrees or whatever. I didn't ask for that. So,
Okay.
so that's what that is.
Mhm.
And then there's something from average salary by age and other demographics that Capital One put out, and these are all. Some of these are they don't break it down enough, but the states with the most average income, and this doesn't say men or women, but it's California, Colorado, Connecticut, DC, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Virginia. That's 1667 a week. Now I'm not doing the math. You guys can put the calculators in and see what that is a month or a year. And then to get Maryland in there is between 1405 to 1666. That's average a week. So that's what that says. Go ahead, Miss
Okay.
Anita.
So again, this is 8 minutes of 100 episodes that this man has done. This is simply 8 minutes. This is your introduction to him. This is someone I've been looking at and getting business advice from and getting inspired from. But the bottom line is this. Yes, this is a Gen X man. This is also a Russian immigrant. So he is different than your average young, American male. Like he has a different work ethic. He has different thoughts and beliefs about a lot of different things. I resonate with it. I resonate with definitely most of the people in my generation. I also resonate with the immigrant experience, even though my family is not that. But one thing that I will say about my family is we don't like the victim mentality. We don't buy into the victim mentality. That's not our thing. Is the pointing fingers and the blaming and it's them, it's this, it's that, men often tell women and they use it as a cut. They'll say, "Oh, your baby daddy cheated on you or he ran off or this or that. You should choose better." Right? They often use it as it's like a cut to the woman. You should choose better. I actually agree with that. Women should choose better, men should choose better. And the reason why I say that is it puts the onus on you. It puts the responsibility on you. That is you controlling what you can control. And so, yes, when I hear men say, but the women and they won't let us lead, you notice how he said men are the leaders in society, right? And it's been this way for a long time. You're not going to overnight erase thousands of years of what we've been doing in history. That's just not going to happen. Men are the leaders. And in my opinion, biblically, men are the leaders. But the men will say, but these women won't let me lead. These women won't follow my lead. These women, it's like blame, 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 blame.
How
And
does a man lead? How does a man lead? I'm just listening to what you're saying. I'm not saying men shouldn't be the leaders, and don't take what I'm saying as some type of beta response. I'm saying, how does a man lead when his woman is refusing to lead, refusing to follow? The church I grew up in said a man who doesn't have any followers is just a guy taking a walk. So I'm leading, you're not following. How do we reconcile that?
as I just said, I want you to choose somebody different. Choose somebody better. Choose somebody who will submit to your healthy leadership, right? I believe that men who are healthy leaders, men who lead with love, they inspire people. They inspire people with their vision. They inspire people to want to follow them. That's a big part of it. And again, if you happen to meet a woman, and there are lots of them out there that just refuse, okay, move on. Move on. Here's what I don't understand about everyone online. Everyone is so focused on the people they say they don't want. That's why they can't find the people that they do want. All you talk about is the women and their problems and all the things, their bodies. Okay, why are we talking about what we don't want? Like, I don't see bad men. I don't see feminized men. I don't see men who don't lead. Those men are not anywhere. Like, I don't see those men. I don't focus on what I don't want. I only focus on the men that I want. I want men to start doing that too. Stop talking about baddies. Stop talking about OnlyFans. Stop talking about, all these horrible women. That's why you don't have a good one, because you are so focused on the thing you say you don't want. But yes, I want to see men get fit again. I want to see men be bold and brave again and courageous again. And I don't want to hear all these excuses about the Me Too and the this and the that and all. Men have built entire nations. They have been doing this for thousands of years. And all of a sudden, a woman whipping out her camera, emasculates you.
It's
That
not.
don't
But I
that
think
don't make sense. That don't make
respect.
sense.
I got you. Respectfully, what I think it's more than just whipping out a camera. Men have been taken down from positions because of a camera. The Me Too movement isn't just some movement. Men were criticized. We had trainings about this, how to talk to women, all this different stuff. Remember, they were teasing with the former Vice President Mike Pence. Oh, this guy doesn't want to have a woman in his office. He's got his wife in it. But after a while, a bunch of CEOs followed on track with that. This is what men are seeing, whether they're high-powered men, as in Mike Pence and other CEOs of companies, or the average guy who's in a factory and maybe he's sharing a bad joke with his cohort. A female hears this, and then he's getting called in the office. So this has caused the recoil of men. I'm not saying that men shouldn't do everything you guys are saying and everything everybody's saying in the chat, to be men, to stand up, to be brave, to be bold, and to go forward. I'm just trying to see, does this recoiling have any validation with you?
But you got to stop putting yourself in those positions, right? We look at Shannon Sharp, right? We look at these ball players and these celebrities who see women intentionally getting pregnant. We see these women intentionally putting them in these situations. You got to be smarter than that to put yourself in a situation where you don't protect yourself. Now, we see this young man that just got married to this girl, this young football player, who did not sign a prenup. So down the line, we're going to be looking like he didn't sign, she did him dirty and this and that. No, the men are putting themselves in positions for Me Too movements. We see people like Puffy and we see people like R. Kelly. You put yourself in a position to put your hands on a woman, to do these different things. Y'all have to do better with your selection, like Anita said, and y'all have to do better with your behaviors, because can't nobody go to a Me Too movement and say Me Too about any person who has not done anything. So we can't blame the women for the choices that men are making. We can't blame women for what's his name, the guy that has the talk show, who has baby mamas everywhere. You know that you are ejaculating inside of a woman, and now she want half your money, and you want to blame women. You know that there's women in the office, and you come in the office and you saying crash things to them, or you're touching them, you doing, and you know that these things. Wait, you know that these things can cause a problem. You have to control yourself. That nobody can say anything about. You have to keep yourself out of these situations instead of playing the blame game to say, now look at these women. These women are joining the Me Too movement. These women, this woman trying to take my money from having a baby. Why should I give it? Why did you sleep with a woman without a condom, knowing that you could get her pregnant? So you're just as responsible as she is.
I hear that. I hear that to a certain degree. Watch what you're doing. The problem is that certain women are taking those condoms that you slept with, inserting it in themselves, and getting paid off of that. How can
you be back to your hotel room and from a basketball game, and you don't think that she's going to try to get some money out of you? No, you have to be responsible and get you a woman that you can trust. These women that are taking condoms from the garbage can in the bathroom is a chick that you took to a hotel room to sign an NDA, who took a condom, inserted the sperm inside of her. You ain't had no business doing that. We have what's his name, Deion Sanders, I believe, that takes these young men and brings a whore, basically, an influencer, to tell them the game, and they still go fuck around. Oh, excuse me. They still go mess around with some chicken head and end up pregnant when you've been schooled and you still let your dick control what you wanted, and now you complaining and blaming a woman that went and took a condom when you had classes that said, don't take these whores, don't take these groupies to your hotel room. You got to think better as a man and say, my life is at stake. We see in social media, back in the day now, we didn't have social media. So it was whatever. Social media, we see all these men going through being taken, and all of these men being taken advantage of and sued and all stuff. And y'all still doing it? Every time I see a man that's coming up with a woman that's pregnant and she taking his money, or a woman that's claiming that she was raped or violated, I'm saying y'all see this happening every day, and you still make a decision to take some woman to a hotel room with you, Shannon Sharp. You still make a decision to sleep with some woman or talk to a woman or say something out of line to a woman. And you see this every day. This is not why are you surprised?
Okay.
Why are you surprised? This real knowledge, this seeing.
Right. I get that to a certain point, and we're all saying, the men, particularly in the manosphere red pill spaces, are definitely saying, knock this off, become adults. Last night I listened to a 5-hour stream talking exactly about this Travis Hunter kid and what you just talked about. I definitely get it, and I agree with that. We got to make better decisions. Stop thinking with your little head. Totally agree with that. Do average men, I'm going to play your next video after this question. Do average men deserve love and attention and affection from a woman?
Yes.
Okay. So average men, you all agree with that?
Yes.
So average men deserve love, attention, and affection from a woman.
Right.
What if he's being overlooked by average women? Is that okay, fair? What do you think about that?
No woman considers
just the price in the game, or
this is the problem, DL. Dr. L, I'm sorry.
Did you call me DL? Woman, I am not on the DL, but
Dr. L. Yeah, I know you ain't on the DL. This is a major problem. Even though we're talking about the mistakes that men make, this is what men have to realize. You can look at a woman, and no offense to anybody who is fat or fluffy, whatever you want to call it, or extra skinny, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. Most women will look at themselves and say, I'm a 10. So you're dealing with a bunch of women, a lot of women. I'm not going to say all, but you're dealing with a lot of women that think they're above average. So they're overlooking an average man because they really don't think that they're average. But you have to, as a man, say, you average, so I'm not going to feel slighted by some average chick. I'm just going to move on to the next woman that will find me desirable. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take this one, Anita. 7 Sacraments of Health says, why should men lead?
I'm coming from a biblical perspective, so we may not agree on this. Um, but it's pretty clear in Christendom, the way that works, that God had an order and he created man first. He gave him a job, he put him in his presence. Um, he gave him a woman as a helper. And, we may not agree on that, and that's fine. Like I said, I have these arguments with agnostics and atheists and Muslims and people of other faith. But that's just my perspective, that God had a great order, and it was God, Christ, man, and woman, and children. So that's the perspective from which I'm coming from. And I agree with Bedros. A lot of women may not like this, but I agree with Bedros. I don't think the average woman is built for the pressures of the world. They're not. And there's been plenty of times where I've almost buckled under the pressure. And I took a step back. I renewed my mind and renewed myself. And I did those things that kind of feed my feminine soul. I just took a step back. But I don't think most women are built, to be on the front line and to do those hard jobs, because it's been proven that 98% of them are done by men. So clearly we don't want to do those jobs. We don't want to work on paving the roads in 100-degree weather. We don't want to do that. So, I mean, statistically, it is showing, now they're letting women into the military and they're fighting on the front lines and all of that. I don't want to do that. And I know a lot of women I know don't want to do that. We're not interested in that, so but I'm coming from a more biblical perspective. So again, we may disagree about that. And remember, it has nothing to do with the intellect of the woman. It has nothing, it's not saying she's less than, but again, I think women we are different. We know that for a fact. We are different than men. And most women don't want to be the sole provider. This is statistics. Most women do not feel good about being the sole provider of their home, especially when they're married to a man. Whereas a man, I was in that marriage where that man was like, don't work. Don't go nowhere. Stay at home, take care of the children, take care of our home. He got great pride, so much so that he did it 4 times in a row. Like every woman he married, he was like, stop working. I will take care of you. I will take care of our home. I will take care of any children we create. Men are different that way. I don't want to take care of no full grown man. Okay. Even one who is staying at home, taking care of our kids. I don't get pleasure out of that. That don't make me feel good inside. But men do feel that way. Most masculine men. Now we're seeing a shift where a lot of men, because they feel like they're not able to be a sole provider, they don't want to do that. But again,
But they don't want to do what they don't want to. No, they don't want to do what? They can't be the sole provider. They don't want to do what?
They don't want to be the sole provider. That's too much pressure.
Okay. So is it that they don't want to be the sole provider, or is it because the price has gone up of everything, therefore they can't afford it, so therefore they have to have their woman work?
I've helped plenty of couples figure out how they could have the wife stay at home. And the man said, yeah, that's just too much pressure.
Okay, well, how much time would he have to spend away from the home? How much overtime would he have to do? Even one of the first things that you said is that if he's home playing Xbox, and there's another guy, Charlie Kirk, said the same thing. You can't play Xbox or PlayStation you can set your wife up. I mean, work-life balance. How much time does he have to give? I got to work 20 hours, excuse me. I got to work 60 hours a week in overtime, and my time plus time and a half. I mean, what are we talking about here? If the average income isn't able to do it, most men are average. The average income isn't able to do it, and I'm just kind of just shooting here. I want to understand, what we're exactly asking for when we
Can I
talk
say
about
something?
this. Go ahead.
Men back in the day, the cost of living was high for them too, right? The cost of living was high for them.
It wasn't.
Wait. I'm not saying the cost of living
Statistically, it wasn't there.
Wait a minute. I'm not saying the cost of living wasn't high like it is now, but the cost of living was high for them for that time. The average black man back in the day, before they were giving black men fair wages, were making a little bit of money and taking care of their families because they weren't making excuses. They were not making excuses. They went out and they found a way. My ex-husband's father, his wife stayed home. Let me just use this as an example. They had 13 children. His wife stayed home. This is serious. I'm not even joking around. He got a skill. He started working at a certain store, and I don't want to put it on blast. He started working at a store. He got a skill. He moved up to working into the meat department of this supermarket. And then he became the head butcher because he knew that he had to provide for 13 children. So he didn't stay in a certain department and say, well, I only make $25,000 a year. His wife was home raising 13 children. He said, I have to get another skill in this supermarket that makes more money than everybody else. And he moved to the meat department where he was packing meat until he was the head butcher and he was making a higher salary. Men have to stop making excuses about, well, my salary is this. Then move up, get another skill like Anita said. Go and get you a skill, go become something else, go get your little, and this, some stuff don't take a lot of time. You can work-life balance. Women are out here making a lot of money in 7 hours, finding things, getting skills, and elevating themselves. Like you go from being a stock boy to the cashier, to the butcher, to meat stacking, to the head butcher, to the manager of the supermarket, to owning one. You have to keep elevating and stop making excuses and saying, well, the average man makes, and I can't do it because the average. No, you keep elevating. You become the CEO. You work that thing until you get to a point where you don't need nothing from nobody. When I met my ex-husband, and the problem with these men now, they want to be modern men instead of traditional men. When I met my ex-husband, we didn't have nothing. We started from the bottom. We was eating tuna fish and ramen for a long time. And I was working at a daycare center. That man said, I'm not taking a dime from you, because his father raised him that if you want to marry a woman, you need to take care of her. You shouldn't be expecting, no man, especially 45 and up, should be expecting a dime from nobody. If that woman walked out of that house tomorrow, he should be able to maintain, sustain, and remain in the same situation that they're in, with the mortgage, with the car note, with the electric, with the cable, at the level that she met him at. She should be able to accept that he's a teacher. This is where we're going to live. But no man should be making no excuses and expecting nothing from nobody. And that's the problem with men today. I need 50-50. I'm expecting something from you. No, you should be able to take care of a home by yourself. Sorry, not sorry.
Here's my disagreement with what you just said. I'm not talking. I've admitted men need to level up. I agree with that. I understand that. But what you said in there was key. You said that where we met at, you were doing this X, Y, and Z. So today's people are meeting at this place and they're saying, if you don't make six figures, if you don't have all this walking through the door, that's what I want to press on. What you're talking about leveling up, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But meet me where I'm at today. You would probably get a lot more men to come out of their mama's basements, get off the game. If they're $25,000, $30,000, $45,000 a year, they would get a woman who would either work with them, live under their or be able to live under their support or whatever. But that's not what you're hearing today. What you're hearing today is vastly more. And you know, I'm not an economist, but whatever the rates were at that time, obviously they were able to support a family of 13. We all had grandparents, you know, 12 kids, 13 kids. They were able to do it, even with overtime, even with hustling, working on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, that is impossible today. And I'm not making excuses. The average home is now $400,000.
It's not impossible.
And people have student loans. It's what we're talking about. So you have to meet a man where he is today. He's got whatever he's got, $30,000. The average man, again, making 30 years old, is making somewhere like $40,000 roughly. He can't buy a home. He may be living in an apartment. My point is, meet the man in the apartment as you build up. As he's going up, he's doing his 9 to 5. He'll make a couple overtime, drive Uber on the weekends. Still okay. He's got to sleep and all that. I'm not saying don't move up. I'm not saying it's okay for men to be to be lazy. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying the woman has to be able to meet the man where he is.
Well,
That's
I'm speaking right now. I believe a 25-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man are both building. Speaking of 45 and up, a man should be at a certain level in his life and established. We not dating potential at this age. A 25-year-old,
Right.
two 25-year-olds meeting each other, they should be building together. But a 50-year-old man, a 45-year-old man should not be expecting a dime from anybody. He should be able to sustain on his own. I'm sorry. He should be able to sustain.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Trey. I'm not disagreeing with that. V, did you have anything before we play the next video?
No, I don't have anything. I'm just gonna wait for my video to play. And I'll just have comments then. I mean, there's really nothing more to add to this particular. I want to make sure that we're staying on topic because I absolutely want to make sure that the conversation is helpful. That we are having. I don't participate in divisive content, and I want to make sure that we are just. I want us to be helpful for men and women, right? How can we ensure that our relationships are doing well? We did the women, and now it's like, well, okay, well, what can men be doing better to ensure? Like, I do believe that men are the leads, right? I do believe that. I don't come from the biblical background of that, but I still believe, that men should be leading because that is the role of a man. A masculine man is to protect and provide. I do believe he sets the tone for the relationship, right? And I believe that's what my video is. So no, I'm just gonna ride out Dr. L.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you didn't have anything to say about that. Okay. All right. So Trey, I was smiling before I had gotten a funny text message. I didn't want you to think I was kind of laughing at you.
I didn't think that at all.
Okay, and so somebody asked me about the memberships. Next to the in the video here on the page, there's a join button. So if you want to join the membership for the channel, you can do that. There's 2 different tiers right now. So you can just go over to the join button. And if you happen to click the button that says, super chats or anything like that, if you accidentally hit that, just go ahead and hit it and just super chat or whatever. All right. So let's see here. So we'll present the next video here. This is again by Miss Anita. Here we go.
How to tell men, no matter how much you criticize women, it all starts with men. Case in point, why is OnlyFans $1 billion industry? Why? You can talk about the women that have content on there with strong followings, but who subscribe to the content? Overwhelming majority making it $1 billion industry. Men. Why is adult films $1 billion industry? Yet again, like who's watching adult film content that much, giving it that much viewership, making the adult film industry $1 billion industry? Men. Yet again, the strip club industry. Why is that $1 billion industry? You can criticize the women that work there. You can talk about the lifestyle of the dancers. You can talk about the lifestyle of the strippers. But who's subscribing to these strip clubs? Who's keeping the lights on at these strip clubs? Men. And so that's why I say no matter what y'all say and how much y'all try to pick women apart, criticizing, analyzing, finding something wrong with every category of women, it all falls back to the men. And until the men get their affairs in order, everything is going to be out of its God-ordained alignment, the way he intends it to be. And until men get their affairs in order, everything is going to be out of its God-ordained alignment. Case in point, if a woman is at the bar and somebody slips something in her drink and she passes out, who physically has the strength to carry her out and take advantage of her? Unfortunately, on average, a man does. If a woman is walking by herself, and it's whether it's broad daylight or nighttime, and she's thrown into the van, never to be seen again when we're talking about this sex trafficking thing, who on average has the physical strength to do that? A man does. A man. When we talk about the R. Kellys, the Diddy's, and all this other stuff, who did they have on their payroll? Majority, on average, that was turning a blind eye, making sure the exit doors were locked so people get violated. Men. Are women perfect? No. Women are not perfect. It's a lot of flawed women out here. Trust me. I know. But it all starts with the men. And until we get our affairs in order as men, becoming godly leaders over ourselves, in our households, over our families, whether you want to talk about a man being, running this country, politician, everything is going to be out of its God-ordained alignment. We got to get our affairs in order, fellas. That's why I try to tell men, no matter how much you criticize.
Okay. Ms. Anita?
Pretty straightforward. And yet, there's going to be a whole lot of men that their shame wound is going to be triggered, right? They immediately want to deflect to the women. So instead of taking that medicine, instead of, what we know to be statistical truth, y'all love logic, you love fact. And when I meet you with those facts, you deflect, right? Because that shame wound is triggered. Oh no, that spotlight is on me and I got to get it off of me. But like I said, I do this all day. I do this with men and I do this with women. I am not a gender loyalist. When I see people behaving badly, I call it out. Okay, but men are the leaders. And most of the male content creators that I work with, they have all said that. It is going to have to be us. And that's what I love about their platforms. They're talking about that and they're encouraging men to lead again. And what's the primary thing that leaders do? They are good role models. So leading isn't about saying, "Hey, follow me." Leading is about saying, "I'll go first. Let me clean my house up. Let me clean my act up and show you how it's done." That's what good leaders do. So he's right. There are a lot of jacked up women now more than ever. There are so many bad women out here now. Like, it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me because I happen to be one of the unicorns. I happen to be a woman who doesn't have a high body count, who, in my opinion, tried to do everything right. So when I do see women out here behaving badly, it's downright shocking. I was always raised that women are the fairer sex, right? But now, unfortunately, our society is falling because the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So when women go down, right, when they are degenerate, when they are doing all of these horrible things, it's like a society can only go so far, right? These women are mothers. A lot of these women are mothers. And yeah, if they're all messed up, but again, it's a trickle down effect. It's a lack of healthy leadership. It's a lack of fathers in the home. We've talked about this quite a bit. So, but yeah, he spoke to the leadership aspect. And again, a lot of men, I'm not going to say most, a lot of men, because of everything that's going on, that shame wound gets ignited. That's why they try to deflect. They try to, well, what about the women? What about what they're doing? And what about, they just have to get it off of them. That's some strong medicine. That's some strong medicine. And like I said, when men are talking about the stuff women do, I take it. I take it. It ain't even me and I take it. That ain't even how I move and I take it. Yeah, you right. Yep, they tripping. Yep, this, yep, that. Like, I don't have no shame around that. A lot of women need to take it. But right now, we're talking about men. So
Men need to step up and be leaders. V, what's your thoughts about that?
I mean, I would definitely agree that. I mean, I already said that. I said men should be the leads. And I mean, and when you play my clip, then I can elaborate on that. But I absolutely think so. I mean, I grew up thankfully. I mean, I grew up seeing a healthy relationship all my life. My, so I'm blessed and I'm grateful for that. Like I said, my parents are still married. So, so when we talk about relationships, I didn't come from damage or trauma. But, and I know that I've dated people who did. And now as a mature woman, I'm asking about your childhood and if you ever healed from it, because if you never healed from it, if you never went to therapy, if you never got help from it, we are not a match, because I don't have those traumas. I know what love is. I'm a daddy's girl. I just talked to my daddy right before we, push record or play on this thing, right? So yeah, I know that and I've been able to see what a feminine woman looks like in a household, and I've been able to see what a strong leader looks like in a household all my life. And if I were out here dating and the man I'm dating doesn't know what that looks like, has not even because he could come from a single parent household, and I understand that, because I mean it's going to be common, right? But if he has never learned what a healthy relationship looks like, never healed from whatever he had. Oh, I got a big pit bull. Okay. So sorry. I got 100-pound pit bull watching my house. Right. But if he never really went, to get healed, I'm sorry. We not a match. If he doesn't know what leadership looks like, we not a match, boo boo.
Trey, did you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm just looking at the comments and them going in about I just want to be clear that I don't think a woman should come in and not contribute, because they thinking like, oh, somebody said something about, oh, when anybody come in and take care of the old 100%. The old woman thing don't bother us. So keep that energy over there. But I'm not saying that the woman is not supposed to come in. I'm saying this. This is the problem that men are, the problem with men nowadays. They want to make excuses. And nobody wants to hear that. I had a friend of mine, right? And he was with a woman, and she came in and she was contributing. They were doing 50-50. They broke up and she left. And he couldn't sustain. And you know what he told me? Because we were having these conversations, because I do relationship. He said, Trey, you know what I learned from that? That I will never, ever depend on a woman to pay 50-50 for me again. If any woman ever leaves my home, whether it be wife, girlfriend, boo, or bae, you better believe I can afford that house without her. And that's my point. Every man should be able to afford that home, that establishment that they're living in. I'm not saying you got to buy her fur coats, boots. Listen, fur coats, boots, or none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But you should be in a situation where if that woman passed away, or if that woman walked away, you should be able to maintain the same lifestyle. Point blank, period. And again, the man that is providing and protecting, that is an adult, that is established and doing his thing, the right woman will come in and contribute, whether she's working or a stay-at-home mom. She will put her money towards vacations. She will put her money toward decorating that home. I'm not saying that no woman on here, me, V, or Anita, wants some man to put us up in somewhere and be a sugar daddy of none of that. Nope. That man that we want in our life better have us be sustained, better be established in a certain way. And we gonna meet him where he at, but he better be established and be able to take it. I don't care if he's a basketball coach. If I fall in love with you and you're a basketball coach, of course I know we ain't gonna live in no mansion with 6 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And of course I know that if I want to do that, I gotta kick in half if that's what I want. I'm saying, but that man needs to say, this is what I'm capable of. If it's not good enough for you, boo, walk. But I don't need nothing from you. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm gold diggers and we looking for some man to do this and that. I'm saying that a man, a grown, full-grown man should be established at 45, 50 years old, and the right woman will come along. And if something happens to him, an accident, a sickness, an illness, that woman will kick in because that man's been doing what he's supposed to do. That's all I'm saying, brothers in the chat that going off, because y'all triggered because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because you
no, what you're saying is standards. Like we have standards, like you have standards. I have established a set of standards for myself.
Yes.
And I'm sorry. I will, Trey, girl, I'm gonna tell you right now, look, I fly business class. And if you can't afford your business class ticket, you can sit your ass in the back and hold the goats and the chickens,
That's
because
it.
I'm going to buy myself a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 business class seat, because that, hey,
you guys, you can't
I'm
even help yourself. You're exemplifying the exact behaviors and the
no,
exact
no, I
talking
have
points that these guys are
standards.
talking about in the chat.
No,
In the chat,
No,
no,
we're
what
somebody
I'm
else,
not.
saying, no, we're not.
Nicole
I
said,
have, so why is it not good for me to have standards? I done busted my ass to get here to where I'm at. Why, if somebody's used to eating McDonald's all the time, and I'm supposed to just get within a relationship with them and be okay with getting a damn Happy Meal?
Nope.
Like, no, I don't eat McDonald's today. So
Mm-mm.
a man should love and honor and respect and whatever his standards are, and if I don't meet his standards, I don't meet his standards. I'm gonna be
That's
like,
it.
okay, I dig
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
you define your standards, and it has
Right.
nothing to do with a paycheck. It's just I am used to a set of standards for myself, and I want a man to come in and be okay with his standards, and our vibes will mesh. I don't want to come in and pay. And I done raised 3 sons. I done had 3 little nigglets come up out this coochie, and I'm gonna tell you this: like, I don't expect any woman to be. If a woman is taking care of my sons, y'all better stop. I did not raise my sons that way. Okay, no, get out here and have your own. Do what you need to do legally, right? To pay your bills, do what you got to do. Like, as a mother, I have raised my son to establish their own set of standards. Do not take on a project. Okay,
Right.
this ain't reading rainbow. I'm not gonna sit here and take on projects and draw coloring books. I'm too old for that. I'm grown, right? I
Well, but you
expect a
heard what she
man.
said. She told her son, you heard what she said, right? We're talking about men. She told her sons, don't take on a project.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
take on no
Baby girl,
projects.
if baby girl can't buy a business class, not that you're gonna make her, but if she can't, she ain't on your level. Again, and again, if I know that you're a teacher, a basketball coach, or a CEO, I know the level of where you are. And if that's what I accept, that's what I accept. But if a woman doesn't accept that, that's not a bad thing. And she can say that to a man. And we can say to our sons, you don't have to take on a 45-year-old woman or a 35-year-old woman that ain't got nothing going for her. That's trying to be on OnlyFans or trying to do. You don't have to take that on, son. No, let her. She. What is she doing? She don't have anything. She hasn't established anything in her life. No, boo. That's not what you doing.
Mm-mm.
should a man making 30 grand look for a wife?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he look for a wife? It's some women out here that make 30 grand too.
Yep. Yep.
And they could together they'll make 60 grand, right?
Yep.
So, and there are places where they can combine their money and live a peaceful life. Like, why can't a man, look, love is love. I mean, y'all done seen on the internet. I saw a comment. It was these 2 big old white women, talk about, oh, I want a man who work out, right? And in the comments, they big, right? These some bigums,
Yeah.
right? And they was like, well, why would they, be wanting a top tier of a man when they showing up like that? Look, I'm not gonna tell you what you want, what you want to date, what you want to marry. Like, that's your preference. Who am I to come in here and say you shouldn't have that preference?
What does it
Right.
mean what does it mean that black women are definitely not settling? What does it mean to settle?
It means to
I
go. Go ahead, Anita.
I'm sorry. I saw a comment, and this was some time back, where Garrett was saying there's no empathy here. Like, there's no empathy here. And here's what I think is interesting. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about the financial thing, because for me it's way deeper than that. That is literally like the shallow end of the pool. But I will say this about finances. If a woman is able to get an education, if she's able to build a business, if she's able to get certified in something, or however it is that she comes to know $150,000, $200,000 salary. If a woman is able to do that, why isn't a man able to do that? That's what I've always been confused about that. Right. And I know that's not every woman. I know there are a lot of, as he said, broke women out here. But the women who are able to do that, they're able to educate themselves or learn a skill, or however it is they come to know that salary one day. Why wouldn't we say, okay, I was able to do it. Why aren't you able to do it?
And empathy, let me say this too.
That's a longer conversation, but go ahead. Go
Let
ahead.
me just say this one thing. It's going to be really quick. How come holding a man accountable makes you lack empathy? It's two different things. You don't know what empathy is, because holding a man accountable to a higher standard to do better has nothing to do with any of us lacking empathy.
All right. I'm doing a bad job at not taking sides here. I admit that. So we'll play these video now. I just for the record, I could say more about this whole why men don't level up and stuff, but we'll move on.
Mm-hmm. You ain't had that problem when last time we recorded. You didn't feel a certain type of way last time, Dr. L. But now we're talking about men.
We're hour and 20 minutes in. I still got two more people to talk to.
I know. I'm just saying. Now
at the end of this, if we got time, I will certainly elaborate on that, Ms. B. Your video was up.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Woman is only masculine with you because you're feminine. That same woman you complained about, the same woman you said wasn't soft, the same woman you said she complains all the time, is with this man, and she is soft, she's feminine because he makes her feel secure, safe. He brings out everything in her that you were unable to do because you were looking for a mother figure. You were looking for a roommate. This man put this woman on the throne and loved her from the bottom of her feet to the top of her head. You have to remember one thing, you weak men. Women are only masculine around feminine men. Masculine men can even make the toughest woman, regardless of her background, melt like butter in his hand because he elevates her, he speaks to her soul, he uplifts her mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So rather than you saying, oh, then my woman is masculine, no, you should be saying, I'm feminine, and that's why I have a masculine woman. You have to get a reality check. These women are all feminine, but it takes a real masculine man to unlock it because she's become hard around you soft men. That woman is only masculine with you.
All right.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. That's the truth, because we hear it all the time. And that especially black women, we're not feminine, and that there's a whole history there, right? I mean, statistically, we are typically leading our homes, right? And so we're doing a lot more than those who might not be leading in their homes. So because life circumstances, and I can't stand when black men say, well, I don't date black women because, they're so masculine. They got attitudes, and then they single moms. And I'd be like, well, who the hell made them single moms? I mean, everybody plays a part in here. That's why, Dr. Ed, don't give me that. We have to be accountable for, each one of us have to be accountable for the part we play, right? Okay, so you get with a woman, and, I can't stand when men say, you should come to the relationship knowing how to be feminine. A woman knows how to be feminine. You don't have to teach me how to nurture, how to love, how to care. I promise you, I know how to do all those things. Hell, I've seen it all. My mother's Chinese. We talked about it before. My mother's straight Chinese from Taiwan. You think that woman ain't nurturing, caring? The Chinese women give you their skin off, not even the clothes off their back. They give you the skin off their bodies, okay? Because for an Asian woman, that their family is their whole lives. Like, I've never seen my mother really have any hobbies. My mom just, she's very traditional. So you think that if I haven't seen that 50 years of my life, you think I come to the table not knowing how to love, nurture, and all that, right? So I know these things. They are innately in me. They are innately in all women, right? But you can get in the wrong relationship that makes you hard, right? That man is not doing his part. He's not leading. And the relationships are about balance. So if the man is not, in his masculine energy, I promise you that woman's going to take over. And now you got this hard woman, this masculine woman that you're complaining about, that she's doing the most. And it's like, wait a minute, boo-boo, somebody has to get in this house and lead. That's why I do believe men are leaders, right? We have to encourage our men to lead. And I know they didn't like me saying that last time, but but we do have to, right? We have to prevent ourselves from taking over, because I know sometimes we see him and he makes a decision we ain't rocking with too much. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna take over. Give that man an opportunity to self-correct. Maybe he didn't make the right decision, for the household, but allow that man to learn his lesson from it, because if you take over, he's never going to know how to lead. But I do strongly believe that the balance in the household is determined by the man in the household. Let him show up to be strong, masculine, right? Allow us to feel safe in his presence. Like if I hear noise in the middle of the night, am I supposed to go grab my damn gun and bat? Like, dude, get your ass up and go see what the noise is. And even though I got this big dog, right? But still, do what you're supposed to do, because a woman wants to feel physically safe, emotionally safe as well, right? Yeah, I don't want to walk down the alley and you gotta get behind my back if we got a nuck and buck, right? I'm not trying to go down that alley and look through the corners and stuff and count the exits and all this other stuff. The man should be doing that. But if a man isn't doing that and she has to do that, she don't need you. She don't need you. And we got to get away from that, right? We want the balance in our relationships, right? So men got to show up as the leaders. Women, we have to allow them to lead. Yes, I say allow. I know whoever didn't like that last time, but it is allowing, because if not, that woman's going to take over, right? And as a woman like me, I will take over, right? If I feel like I'm unsafe, I don't want to take over. Like Anita was saying earlier, I don't want to take over. Now I do lead in corporate America, and I do those things, right? So, hey, that's who I am, but I don't necessarily want to lead in my household all the time. I don't want to make all the decisions, but I want you to make the decisions. I need to trust you, though, in order for us to be able to do that.
All right, y'all hit the like button. Let me have to get mad in here. So y'all don't want to see me upset. So go ahead, Anita. Did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, the chat is going crazy.
Yeah, I can't keep up.
Yeah, the chat is going crazy. Again, like I said, my advice to everyone is focus on what you want, right? Just focus on what you want. You want a sweet, soft, feminine virgin? Okay, then focus on that. Stay out of these chats. Stay off of these lives. And look, I'm about to hurt.
Come on now, don't stay off of this live. Come on now.
I'm about to hurt my own channel by saying, yeah.
Oh, you hurt your channel, don't hurt mine. Come on now.
Okay. Well, you can stay off my channel, right? You can stay off my lives. And look, I had 2 male friends. Let me tell you how masculine men roll. I had 2 male friends that I said, hey, I'm going live tonight on Dr. L's podcast. I told a bunch of women too. 2 male friends. They was like, Anita, I don't have time for that. I am getting ready for the week. I am preparing for the week. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I don't have time. And these are my friends. And they're like, baby, you know better than that. Okay.
Yes.
Don't mention that to me again. I've got things to do to prepare for the work week. That's what they doing. All my female friends was like, yeah, girl, I'll be there. Like the men I know, baby, don't do that. Don't invite me to these little things. I don't have time for that. And I'm not going to sit in no chat room going back and forth. Like that's the 2 places I ain't going is back and forth. That's what the men I know are doing.
Oops.
Okay. They're not bothered with these conversations.
Oops.
That they're like, none of this is relevant to me.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, men in the chat.
So that's all I want to say. Y'all are here. And as I keep telling men on my Instagram, I'm paid to do this. I don't have personal social media. I get a check from Meta every month, baby. I get a YouTube check every month. I'm paid to be here. What is your excuse?
Oh.
So you're gonna leave this, then you're gonna go play your game. You're gonna do a whole lot of things that don't make you any money, that don't make you feel good and make you feel better about yourself.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So y'all in the chat is making me.
Y'all got Anita's blood pressure going up here. Make sure you hit the like button. At least hit the like button.
Well, I just want to add, like, I think when I talk about the masculine and feminine, and it's from a perspective of, I have, and I can definitely be masculine, right? And I had to learn that that it wasn't good in my marriage. It wasn't good in my, my relationships. And I didn't understand what it was, and going on dates when I was dating a lot, competing against the man. Oh, he has all this going on. Well, shoot, I have all of that going on as well, right? And listing my accolades and how many houses I have, and all this other stuff, and not realizing that I'm not showing up to be, feminine, I would say. I don't care about being ladylike. That has never bothered me. My mouth is my mouth, and I'm gonna speak the truth, right? Now, am I ever disrespectful? Oh, my AirPod fell out. Am I ever disrespectful? No, I'm not. I'm never going to tear a man down. My daddy taught me that, okay, and that's something I'm not going to do. Right. But yeah, my mouth, I know somebody said, oh, that one lady, like, look, I am who I am. And you come on my channel, and when I'm talking about dry coochies and everything else from sex and erectile dysfunction, I mean, I speaks the truth, and it ain't going to be ladylike when you're talking about painful sex. Anyways, I just think the conversation though is needed, because my goal is to bridge the gap. Like, how can we, balance out our relationships? Because for those who desire to be married, not everybody desires to be married. And we have to stop that narrative like, oh, that's why you single. Look, when people say that to other people, I'm like, that's just ignorant, right? The definition in success in life does not equate to your marital status, right? If that is how you have judged the epitome of life, then you are not living, right? Having healthy relationships around you, whether that be with your children, your parents, your friends, that is how you should equate success, not because you got somebody laying next to you in the bed every night that said, I do to you, and y'all sitting here ain't had sex in 12, 13 months. Y'all don't talk to each other. Y'all don't have good pillow talk, and y'all might even be cheating on each other, right? So marriage to me has never been the epitome of, a successful relationship. But if you desire a relationship, right, let's try to just have balance, right? Let's figure it out together, so I want it to be helpful, as in, y'all, what might be messing up your relationship is, the masculine and the feminine balance, right? It's very, very, very common.
All right. Trey, did you have anything? Or
that can segue into what I was going to talk about.
Go for it. You're up.
This is what I want men to know about dating, and not just dating, but in relationships. And I'm saying this in context of not just the vagina, right? But a worried vagina don't get wet, right? When women are not taken care of properly, when a man is not leading properly, a woman is out of whack. So if your dating is not going well, if you're in a long-term relationship or marriage, and you're having issues with your lady, and I use the term of worried vagina won't get wet, and I mean that all the way across the board. I mean, her mind is not settled because she's worried about bills, because she's worried about the children, because she's worried about different things, because you do not make her feel safe. And this, you said, what are men doing wrong in dating? This is why I'm saying this. Women want to feel safe and secure. And I'm not just talking about financially. Women want to feel safe and secure financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. So when they don't feel that way from a man, and I'm not saying all men are the problem, because women start acting out, but I want men to look at, why is my woman acting out? And they have this saying, you could tell how good a relationship is going by the smile on a woman's face. And I believe you could tell how good a relationship is going by the smile on a woman's face and a man's face. But we're talking about men tonight. Last time everybody was okay with us getting on the women. Everybody was all right, rah-rah, and cheering up. But now that we flip the script and we're talking to the men, and we're saying a worried vagina won't get wet, and that your woman don't feel safe with you. And that's why there's a problem with the dating going on, because you don't want to look in the mirror and say, why does she have an attitude? Why is she shutting down? Why is she sad? Why is she not being physical with me? Why are these things happening? Well, you have to look in the mirror and understand that most women desire leadership. And when I say leadership, most women desire a provider and a protector of all things. All the men in the chat that's acting like little girls, pull your panties up and pull your skirt down. Women want protectors and providers in all areas. Y'all so gung-ho on the money, probably because a man that has money wouldn't be going back and forth, first of all. So women want to be stable. They want to feel secure. And when relationships and dating is not going well, we all have to take a look at ourselves. But tonight was supposed to be about what men are doing wrong. And now we talk about the men are saying we have no empathy. Did you not know what the topic was? We don't have empathy. We gold diggers. No, we're telling you what is going wrong in dating from the male perspective, from what's going on with y'all. Y'all got to step your game up and stop talking about, well, it's 50-50 and a woman got to do this. No, you have to be a man and be able to maintain, sustain on your own. You have to be able to lead. You have to be able to do the things that make a woman feel comfortable, to feel feminine, to let her guard down, to not jump in front of you and open the car door. Because I guarantee you, she won't open that car door if you're there before her. I guarantee you she won't open that restaurant door. And I'm only using these little things as an example. I guarantee you she won't open that restaurant door before you or act in any type of man way or any type of leadership role if you were ahead of her. Get ahead of yourself, brother. Step your game up. And we tell all of us, each and every one of us, Dr. Anita, we tell the women the same thing. We love on our men. You can go to my page, my YouTube page and all that. I get the women. I tell women all the time, you cannot use menopause as an excuse to not sleep with your husband. Hey, go get you some KY jelly if it's dry. Go talk to your doctor. Go get you a patch. Go do something. So we talk to the women across the board too.
Yep.
Y'all got to stop being sensitive and crying when somebody trying to help you out, because y'all sound like little girls in the chat. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out because y'all sound real suspect. Oh, 50-50, she a gold digger. No, you're broke. Step your game up, bro. Step it up.
Well, wait, let me add to the menopause thing. Okay, I understand painful sex is a real thing when it comes. So y'all don't do no KY jelly, y'all, because that's gonna mess up your pH. Go watch one of my videos about what to use if your coochie is dry, and then I have videos about if your penis just looks like this, okay, and you know y'all just trying to wake him up, right? I have videos that talk about this, but yes, so I agree. And I talk about that because I am postmenopausal, and those experiences, right? So I had to figure out, like, okay, well, either I'm all the time, or I'm gonna have to figure out, like, get the menopausal stuff under control, right? And so it is a real so yes, girl, you're right, that we have to it is a real thing. We have to figure it out, man. Y'all gotta figure it out too, because a lot of y'all are suffering from erectile dysfunction because of stress.
But they mad. The men are mad tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Because we telling the truth, but that's okay, because a hit dog will holler, as my mother would say. So if you feel some kind of way, go look in the mirror tonight and say, these women weren't specifically talking to me, but why did it make me feel some kind of way? Anytime I'm watching a podcast and somebody say something and I'm rah-rahed up in my spirit and I'm screaming at the screen and I'm like, this, she didn't. I had to pump my brakes and say, that lady not talking to you. Why did that make you feel so bad? Why are you on attack mode? And then I got to check myself.
Yep.
So
but I found that anytime that I have put a video out, like I had a video that went viral, a couple of videos, but one I remember it hit the red pill community on Instagram, and the comments were, laughable. And I said, but you know what? The decent men, there are good men out here. The decent men were, they heard the message. Those who listen with the red pill, the toxic mentality, they left some really and I'm gonna tell you right now, like I said, my mouth is slick and my skin is thick. You ain't hurting my damn feelings.
Okay.
y'all don't hurt my feelings whatsoever. Because we're not being disrespectful, It's
And we
like
ain't gonna sit here and be
yes,
disrespected.
that's true. If the comments apply, then they apply. If they don't, then you say, you know what? I don't know
Yeah.
what that feels like. Dr. L, you say it all the time. I don't know what kind of women, that, or these men, I don't know what kind of men y'all deal with that, exemplify XYZ. Well, we have dealt with men that, exemplify those types of behaviors. It's unfortunate, and we want them to do better, but they have to want to do better for themselves. So hey.
Yeah. And here's my question. I want to see let's see. Let's see. I want to see Garrett come up. I want to see you come up. I want to see you turn on your camera. I want to see your face. I want you to address us directly, because here's what and A Peaceful Life has been up. You're welcome. I want to see who else. There's a couple of dudes in here that I'm like, yeah, feel free to come up. Feel free to have the courage to come up, show your face, give all of this heat like to my face, right? That's what I don't see happening. A lot of times when a man comes in my comments and he has something nasty to say, I say, "Hey bro, you want to go live? You want to come up? You want to go live?" Crickets. So, we're here. We have platforms. You see our face. We're talking to you. I don't need to go back. I can't go back and forth in the chat. I can't join the chat from where I'm at behind, on the platform. But come up. I honestly, Dr. L, have you seen, other than A Peaceful Life? That's the only person I've seen come up on your platform. Anybody
No,
else come up on
well,
your
no, no,
platform?
shoot. Look,
Yeah,
glorious love said, let's see what see what you
yeah,
look like.
I've seen
yeah,
guys. I think he's the only one. So I did just drop the link, so we'll keep it respectful,
yeah,
and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So Ray Alexander, excuse me, says the issue is that some men try to date women that they cannot afford. Men should date women in their affordability
Yes.
lane.
Mm.
When a man stays in his lane, he'd interact with a woman he's compatible with. The only issue I have with that is exactly the question I asked before about the average women thinking that they're tens, thinking that they're nines and tens, overlooking the average guy. Oh, here's chaos rain. That's the issue. And again, that's the why I brought up the issue about the guy who's making $30,000, etc. And I appreciate what Trey was saying. Listen, build with a guy. But the problem is that men are running into women who don't want to build with them. I think that's the biggest issue. All right, so a couple of brothers have joined in. I'm gonna say it
Good.
again. We're gonna talk one at a time. I do not like chaotic panels, so I'm gonna run the panel, and we're gonna bring a couple of people up here. I appreciate that. We're gonna keep it respectful. We're gonna talk one at a time. So chaos, they want you to show your face. So
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
going to bring you up. I'm not going to bring anybody up unless they're
If
willing
you're
to show
not,
their
don't
face.
have your camera on.
Yeah. So you got
That's
to
it.
put your camera on, or you got to go get some makeup on, or do whatever you got to do in order to get ready. Right? These feminized men out here. So here's a brother who's a masculine man. We're going to bring him up here. Brother Lamar is up in the building. What's up, brother?
What up?
Come on,
How
don't
you
come
doing,
here
Dr.
starting your
L?
nonsense.
Okay.
Listen, he was texting me like, "Go, go, go." So
Oh, right.
Wait,
got it,
wait.
brother.
Is he on here as Lamar? Because I didn't see Lamar in the comments.
It's my the other handle thing of another email address. It didn't pull up my original. So
What handle are you, hun?
baller.
Mhm.
Baller
On. Yep.
Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, I see
Yep.
Lamar here. Okay, I
Yep.
see.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been
Okay.
texting Trey. I checked Dr. L too. So y'all having a good conversation.
Well, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you guys. Men do need to step up, but there's a certain level of men that is invisible to most women out there.
Mhm.
And if listen, I talk to a lot of women, and most women think they're tens, nines, and tens on average.
Mhm.
Nobody, listen, I have a rule of thumb. All of us walking around as human beings, we are no better than an 8. None of us.
Mhm.
Unless you've been you see on Instagram, there's beautiful women that are just beautiful for no reason. Those are 9s and 10s. So when I get an overweight, heavy chick that's telling me I'm a 9, I'm a 10, come on, man, stop playing. I can't even take anything you say serious after that. So
Right.
it's, yes, men, the average man I don't know, in DC area, probably in Houston, probably 60, 65 at best. I struggle with the 50-50 thing, because if you're paying 100% of your bills right now, and I show up and say, I like you, baby, let me take half of that. That ain't good enough.
No, if you marry her and you bring her in your house, you want her to pay 50-50?
No, but I'm gonna have a plan for you. I mean, there's gonna be a contribution. Let's say you bring home $2,000 every 2 weeks. We're gonna have to say what amount is needed to contribute to this household. Just because I can pay for it all doesn't mean I'm going to pay for it all. We can line up IULs. We can invest in crypto. We can take vacations. But you're not gonna get your whole paycheck and be like, "Oh, I'm buying Gucci bags."
But that's not what I said. I said you should be able to make the house you're in right now. The condo you're in, your house right now. No woman should not need any help from anybody. And when that woman comes in that home, you should still continue to pay everything that you're paying. And I didn't say a woman is going to take her paycheck and do what she wants to do. The right woman, when she comes in that house, again, will kick in and pay for vacations, put the money in the bank. Nobody's saying that. I just said a grown man your age needs to be able to maintain that house with or without that woman. And her coming into your home should not have you with your hand out.
Okay. But there's certain bills are going to go up. The water bill is going to go up. The food bill is going to go up. The light bill is going to go up. It may not be much. Should you have to chip in with that? Or and the second question is, what do you do with your paycheck? Okay, you're working. You told us to date somebody on our level. Okay, you got a college education. We all got whatever we got. You're making, and all you're going to do is invest in crypto. I mean, what is your contribution
wait? So
now?
I don't, Trey. I don't know. Look, I don't. If I'm sharing a home with somebody, I'm going to contribute. That's yes. I don't think she's saying we just gonna take our money and I'm gonna sit here and get my hair and nails done.
Right.
I'm contributing. Of course, the bills are going to go up. If this is our home, then we're going to, share the bills. That 50-50, like, so I'm not, hey, I know my parents don't do 50-50, but that's my parents, but pay something.
That was implied when Trey said, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I didn't, because I never implied that. I didn't hear Trey say that.
When I'm in a house, I marry someone, they move in my house with me. Now what am I doing?
You paying
I'm paying. I've already got the house. You move in with me. Now my food bill increases. My light bill increases. My water bill increases.
Listen, when I leave my house, if I'm in a house with my husband and I leave my house and I take my debit card, or my man, and I take my debit card, you think I'm going to go to the supermarket and call him and say, give me your debit card number? No, I'm going to swipe my damn card and buy the groceries for the house. Let's be sensible here.
That's all I was asking.
Okay, I'm saying that a man, this is what I said, and I said this clearly before, V, a man should be able to maintain everything he was taking care of before that woman walked into that house. And the right woman is going to come in and contribute. Babe, I got us some tickets to the Bahamas. Babe, I'm going grocery shopping. Do you need anything? What do you need? Now, if we sit down and we have a discussion, we say, hey, let's get a joint bank account for different things. We're going to decorate the home. We're going to do this, do that. Then we have that conversation. But you all of y'all as grown men should not be expecting a dime from your mother, your sister, your girl, from nobody. You should be able to maintain your household on your own. And any sensible grown woman that comes into that home that has a grain of sense is going to contribute.
We agree. I think every man in here is going to agree. Let's see here. Lamar, were you finished with that, or you good?
Yeah, I'll let it go.
Okay. Lauren was up next. I don't know you, brother. Welcome. What do you have to say here?
Well, thank you, and good evening to everyone. It seems like a very interesting conversation, so I appreciate all the dialogue. Definitely sitting back and learning from everyone's perspective. As some of the folks here have alluded to, I would imagine during the conversation when a young lady meets a young man and they're getting to know each other, that some of those discussions will indeed come up. Some may go left in terms of, hey, we're all going to put all of our monies together to establish a life together. We come as one, if you're a believer. So it all depends on what you guys want to do. If it's to the point where, hey, you do this, you pay this, and you pay that. And perhaps that's wonderful with that relationship. If that doesn't work for you, then perhaps that person isn't for you. I've said that to people that I've met in terms of, look, this is the direction I would like to go in my household. If you're in alignment with that, then cool. If not, then perhaps I can introduce you. And I've said this before, I can introduce you to my other frat brother who is perhaps more in line with what you're looking for. It's no shade to me. When you get married, I'll come to the wedding and I'll eat some of the food that y'all have on the table out there. I have no issues with that. Whatever it is, I think Miss Anita talked about, okay, what you like, you like. If you're in alignment with that, then perhaps, like I said, we're cool. I'm good. It doesn't hurt my feelings because this is the direction that I want to go. If you do not want to go with that, that's okay. We're still friends. I'll still give you that side hug at church. I'm good, and I appreciate all that you do. So it just seems very simple that we're making things very difficult. If the person that you come across is not in alignment with the direction that you are going, it's not that you're broke and you're this and you're not good enough, whatever. I'm just not that person for you. I love you. It's sweet. We can move on to the next person. I'm still going to appreciate you. We're still friends. We are just not in alignment. Right. And it's just all very simple. It seems like a lot of discussions, which, I'm here to support Dr. L. I've watched Miss Anita's podcast as well as V. I appreciate all of what you do. You have your audience, you come across and you give your best advice. I just don't think that we necessarily need to be on one side or the other and that you're wrong and you're wrong. No. We're all right, but we're just looking for the person that fits in our alignment. If I'm expected to approach the young lady, then this is my plan. I'm going to present my plan to the young lady and say, hey, look, this is my plan. Are you cool with that plan? No, I want this. Then fine. Let me introduce you to the brother who has your plan. And I'm good. So I appreciate all. Thank you very much. Hopefully I haven't extended my time, but and that's all I really have to say about that. So thank you.
Wait, quick question. I'm sorry, Lauren.
Yes, ma'am.
Which one are you in because I must have missed it. Which one are you on the chat? I apologize.
Which one am I on the chat?
Your handle. Is it also Lauren on the
chat? It's Lauren. Yeah, Lauren. Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
I have my last name. I think it's also part of that. But so I don't display. Yeah, so it's Lauren Akers. So, but yeah.
Oh, and what frat are you? Just out of curiosity.
Rue.
Oh,
Make Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay. I'm a Zeta. If any
hey, Dr. L.
Out there.
I appreciate all D9. You're all good.
Dr. L. Can I ask the gentleman a question?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Excuse me, sir. How are you doing? Now, obviously, I haven't met you. Let me ask a question. Are you single or married?
I'm single.
Single. If you mind sharing, what's your highest level of education?
Master's degree.
Master's degree. So you're similar around education as me. Have you been gainfully employed your whole entire life?
Yes, sir.
Are you a bachelor? You said you're a single guy, right?
Yes.
Gainfully employed. Okay. So
Absolutely.
I'm retired. I'm 50. I retired at 46. So I have education as well. So
I applaud you for.
I just want to
no. That's fine. Let me give you your flowers. I applaud you for retiring at 46. Wonderful. Thank you.
Right. But I just want to qualify these men because what happens in a lot of times in these conversations, we have conversations about the lowest possible denominator. What we have here, what I call the color purple narrative of these degenerate, lazy, bummy, uneducated Black men that are sitting around on couches and bumming off of women and all these other things. But my circle of friends and the people that I see a lot of single, intelligent, educated Black men that are single and that do not or have been married before, who have established legacies, who don't want to get back into marriages. Dr. L is one of them, and the gentleman on the platform, one of them. I don't see these derelicts. And when Black men hear this conversation over and over again about these lazy degenerates, and you go to blackdemographics.com, the statistics prove against that. Statistically, you go to Pew Research. When you look and you listen to this narrative, this is a feminist color purple narrative. And I don't see these men. Now, if you go a few miles down the street, there's some dudes down there riding on the bikes at 12 o'clock midday. And we know what happened in neighborhoods when there's dudes riding around on the bikes at 12 o'clock midday and not working. And if you don't see women around going to the gyms and shopping, whatever. But the narrative that there's not a lot of single black men out here that's eligible, it's not true. The truth of the matter is, guys just don't date. We're not invisible. I'm like 6'8" tall. I have a kid 6'9", almost 6'10" downstairs. He don't date. My other son is 6'5". We're eligible bachelors. They do. I mean, he every once in a while, whatever. But anyhow, that's a whole nother story. They don't date. I say, when are you going to date? Are you guys planning to get married? Hell no, Dad. Kick rocks. Basically, not in that disrespectful way. So it's not an issue of eligibility. One son has a master's, the other one has a bachelor's. We're not, there's not a bunch of men are not interested in getting in relationships with the women. So this idea of creating this narrative that there's not eligible bachelors out here, it is a way of not dealing with the realities of what's going on with dating and relationships in 2025. And it doesn't matter what the incomes are. It doesn't matter what the finances are. It doesn't matter what the status are. The guys are rich guys, middle class guys, poor. Nobody's getting married. It doesn't matter. It just, I mean, maybe some traditional cultures. I see the Indians all the time. They get married. You know, some Asians do get married. Some people with the higher status income, you see those people get married. But this narrative that there's not a lot of eligible bachelors out here, I just want to challenge that narrative.
I'm not sure where is that even coming from, that that black men aren't dating or black women aren't finding eligible black men. I mean, I don't think either one of us have said that tonight. I can't recall any of us saying that.
I was hearing conversations about guys go ahead, guys sitting on the couch, guys not being able to pay bills or expenses, and guys are just lazy and whatever.
I've not attracted not one of those men.
Yeah.
So
we've heard the descriptor of those types of men.
Yeah, but look, I think I think there are a plethora of eligible, beautiful black men out here to date. I neither one of us tonight have said that there are no good black men out here,
Right.
because I think that's a crock of sugar honey iced tea. There's plenty of beautiful black men out here to find if you are looking for a relationship. So neither one of us have said that. So I just want to clarify that. I think, I do believe there's somebody for everybody. Hey, if you are aligned with somebody, if you are interested in somebody who, plays video games all day, as someone was saying
That's
earlier,
what I'm talking about. Video games.
There's somebody who appreciates that. Somebody may look at that and say, well, hell, at least he at home on the Wi-Fi, but that's something that she prefers, right? That's not something I
That's
prefer.
what I'm talking about, sister. That plays video game. What grown men like us are sitting around playing video games? Like, I'm 50
Some men
years old.
find peace in playing video games.
Some men do, but most Gen X guys like my age don't really. In fact, we get on our kids about playing video games all day long. Like, that's not our narrative. I don't think
maybe
that's
not all
issue.
day long, but maybe in their free time.
I don't play them at all, but everybody's different. Some people,
boo, that's your preference.
I'm
not
just
gonna
saying
not.
in general.
Can I interrupt real quick? I'm sorry, I apologize.
Hold on. Let's use a different example for him. What about the man, instead of video games, because he's just focused on that. Instead of video games, nobody wants a man that's sitting in his man cave outside with his $250,000 or however much he makes, that's qualified with his master's degree, smoking cigars all night and drinking expensive cognac. So the video game thing just came up. The point is, nobody just wants a man that's focused on something else rather than doing something productive with his time. So if he's sitting outside smoking $200 cigars and drinking 2,000 bottles of malt scotch or whatever it is that he's doing, the point is, nobody wants that man that's doing that thing, that's not focused.
But it's the men who are not choosing the women. It's not a situation where the women are not choosing the men. There's many guys out here that could be in relationships that are not choosing the women. Most of these guys, look at Dr. L, successful men. All the men on the panel, it's not the men that are not, it's not the women that the women are not choosing the men. The men are not bothering with the women.
Dr. L, get his AWS up out of here, because I don't believe that's so divisive. It is
It's
so
not
divisive,
divisive,
and
it's
it's
the
not,
truth.
true.
What?
It's
It's not
not
true.
true.
You
It's
think a guy
not
like
true.
Dr. L is single
You
because he
don't
doesn't have
know.
options?
Do you personally know
And I
Dr.
don't need to
L?
know him. I can just look at him. It's my successful retired
Dr.
brother.
L, you better tell him. You better tell him, Dr. L. Okay, because come on now,
Wait a minute, let's say
don't.
this.
I
That's
mean, he's a
not that's
successful
not
brother
true.
over
Dude,
here.
how
Women
about this? Let
He's a
me say this.
women
successful
Okay,
brother.
but
divorce
no.
women
I'm
are
looking at my
divorcing
brothers.
men.
I'm
Women
looking
are
at my brothers
divorcing
Hold
on
on,
men.
hold
the
on, hold
screen.
on,
Women are
hold on.
Wait,
not.
I'm looking at my brothers on the
one.
screen. There's some decent looking, successful
You
brothers
don't
I'm
know
looking
that.
at.
I don't know Lamar's
I
or
can just
Lauren's
look at
dating.
them. I'm gonna give
But
them the
you don't
benefit of the
know.
doubt.
They probably got a woman lined up
But
right
I'm
now.
gonna give them a
You know,
benefit of the doubt.
I
All
think the
right, hold
better
on.
question
I'm
is,
gonna mute.
I'm
Hold on,
gonna
I'm
give
gonna
them the
mute
benefit of
everyone.
the
I'm
doubt.
gonna mute everyone. I'm gonna mute everyone. I don't want chaos. Let's take. Let's take.
Lauren done left.
And you had 122. Good. That's excellent.
So
No,
I want to.
let me ask a
I want to ask
question
the
real
ladies
quick.
a question. I want to ask
Okay.
the ladies a question. I want to ask the ladies a question. I want to try to move the topic here. Going on. I want us to take a deep breath. Let's woo-saw for a second here. Got a little heated. All right. So to a peaceful life's question, Reagan and beauty something. A lot of men are ruining dating by expecting women to jump when they say to. Also, some men will say black women have too much attitude and are not obedient. Do you think that there's an attitude problem to a peaceful life's commentary is that the men are checking out because they don't like the product? Do you think that there's any truth to that? And I want the ladies to answer.
What product? Here's a different question, because I don't agree with that. I'm gonna say no, Dr. L, because here's the thing. Here Now he done came on here, and I can't stand. This is one thing I can't stand, when men lead with their height. Like, what else do you have to offer besides your height?
Well,
Okay, because
I'm
you
not.
came up on
I'm
here
not.
talking about
I'm
I'm
not
six
leading with.
nine.
I'm not
You
leading with
and
my
you know, and that
Hold on,
leads
peaceful
to
life.
the
Hold on.
no, that leads to the narrative that women, you got to be 6'2", 6'3". But you came on here advertising your height as if that's the only thing that we should care about. I don't care about your height, hun. That doesn't entice me. I ain't but 5'4" anyway.
Well,
So
my point is that my height does not matter. It's irrelevant.
but you made it relevant.
I made it relevant because I want to show, but my height don't mean trash.
But you
Because
made
my
it
height doesn't
relevant.
mean anything. That's the point. Whether I'm 6'8", 6'10", 6'5", 5'11", 5'7", none of
Neither
us
one of
are
us
dating.
came on
That's what I'm
here.
trying to tell you.
When Lamar came
It
on here,
doesn't
he
matter
didn't
what
say
the
I'm
man's
6'2".
But
He didn't come on here leading
point
with
I'm
his
trying to
height.
make is it doesn't matter what height I am or what
6'6".
qualifications we are. None of us are buying into the product. It doesn't
That's
matter
fine.
what
You don't have to
qualifications.
buy into the product. Then
That's what
you
I'm
can
trying to
go.
tell you. The issue right now is that
That's
the
lies, though.
marriage
It's
problem. Nobody
okay.
is getting married.
Peaceful life.
I was just
Peaceful life.
in a wedding. I was just
I
in
want
a
her to be able to
wedding.
finish the thought. I want her to be able
Right.
to
Go
finish
ahead.
the thought.
Finish the thought.
Go ahead, B.
I don't believe what the bull crap that he's putting out here, right? There are a lot of people that are in relationships, so in getting married, just because he chooses not to get married, because maybe he's not as marketable as he thinks he is. Maybe he's not attracting quality women because he's not of quality himself. So let's be honest, you are attracting what you are, not what you want. So maybe the product, maybe you're not offering yourself up to be an excellent product, because I can sit here and tell you, I attract all kinds of men, whether I'm in a relationship or not. I can go out here right now and go get a man. So it's because I am who I am, and I believe I am of high quality. So maybe you're not presenting yourself in such a way that the women that you are attracting, maybe they are boo-boos because you're showing up as boo-boo.
Okay, no problem.
All
But
right,
I'm not gonna go at you
Anita,
like
you
that.
invited these brothers up. I want to know what you have to say.
And Garrett still has not joined us. Like I said, he has, and again, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
If you're not man enough to show up, put your camera on, like here we are. Here we are. I had a gentleman removed from the chat because he was profane and he was disrespectful. So again, like, come on, we're all adults. Nobody's, no, don't do that. Like he was profane, he was disrespectful. That's not necessary. I agreed with Lauren. I'm on team Lauren, which is stay in your lane, right? I think a lot of people, not just men, you're focused on what you don't want. Like if me being 57, everybody knows how old I am. Okay, you're not buying the product. All right, then go to a different store, go somewhere else that sells the product you want, or don't buy at all. But to tear people down, like, what is the point of that? Like, I'm with V. I don't have a problem attracting men. I don't have a problem. I can turn that valve on and off. Right now, that valve is off because I've got other things to do. Men are not the center of my universe. But come on now, like, we have to be adults here. At the
Can I
end of
ask
the
a
day,
question?
if we're old and dried up or whatever, okay, then don't pay us any attention. Like, go
Can I,
about your business.
can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
He came on here on this platform where we were asked to discuss what are men doing wrong, and he's triggered by something that we said because we came here to talk about. Last time we were on, we talked about what women were doing wrong. We came on here tonight to talk about what we as women feel men are doing wrong. And Dr. L's going to have a platform where he let men talk about what women are doing wrong, and we're going to receive so that we can be better. But most of the men in the chat were not able to receive because they think that they're above average. And like Lamar said, they are about a 5 or a 6. So they need to be realistic with themselves instead of coming on here saying that we're being a certain way because we're doing something that we were asked to do. We didn't come on here to attack men. The topic was, what do we as women think that men are doing wrong? And we said the fact that men are not leading properly. We said the fact that men are coming in with their hand out asking for 50-50. We said the fact that some men are not ambitious enough. They rather sit home. Let's take video games out of the equation. They rather go to a cigar bar and smoke and talk rather than setting up another side hustle. And he's triggered because we came on and did exactly what Dr. L asked us to do. Me, V, and Dr. Anita came on here and said, the things that we think men are doing wrong in dating is this. Instead of being able to receive and check yourself, men in the chat and our brother that's sitting here, you came in here on attack mode saying that.
No.
Wait, let me finish.
I want to deal with the virus. They're not dating at all. I'm trying to
Hold on,
get
hold
on the
on, hold on.
sideline.
Peaceful
They're
life.
not dating at all.
Let me finish. You came in here saying that men are not choosing women.
Yes.
That's a lie. Men are choosing women. We get chose all the time. I know plenty of women that are dating. I know plenty of women that are engaged, and I know several weddings that just went on. So whatever part of your world that you're in, where you think that men are not choosing women and your sons are not dating, y'all have a serious problem where you need to go and work on yourself to find out why y'all are not dating, because y'all have a miss, because y'all are missing out, because the rest of us are out here having conversations to bridge the gap between Generation X men and women. And I feel sorry for your sons that they are so turned against dating from whatever it is that they saw. So maybe y'all need to get in some therapy and some counseling so that you can move forward and want a wife or a girlfriend or whatever it is that you date. So that's all I'm gonna say, because we came on here, was asked to do something, and for you to come on here and say men are not choosing us. No, and when you look at the divorce rate, women are divorcing men.
Yes.
So if we're gonna look at statistics, let's talk properly. So don't come on here saying that men are the ones that are not choosing, because women are deciding to be abstinent and not sleeping with men and giving up their bodies because men don't want to commit. So let's talk about the real facts that are going on and not how you're feeling, because you're being very emotional.
Well, you got to get into a logical
and most
conversation.
men are analytical.
Well, I am analytical. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to explain to you from a logical perspective. If
you want to sound logical, but you're emotional.
No, not really. I'm actually. You haven't served me a emotional response. I haven't called you any names or attacked you personally, or any of the ladies. I've given you all kindness and respect. What I'm saying from a logical perspective, as a man who coach boys, who deal with boys with basketball, who dedicates time to the community, I'm around a lot of young men. And what I'm saying and what I'm seeing right now, especially there's people dating mostly casually, but I don't see none of those really turning into marriage on any mass level. So there's a crisis that's going on, first of all, with heteronormative masculinity. And there's a crisis that's going on with dating and relationship. But to get to the crux of the problem, we have to really examine what has happened in the past 60, 70 years, especially with manhood, with masculinity. We're not dealing with the issues that exist in the current dating and relationship market. So we can't really come up with a solution. So that's what the fundamental problem that I'm trying to address is that I hear from the woman's perspective, but we've been hearing from the woman's perspective for the last 60, 70 years. What we don't hear enough of is what men think. And I think that's where we bridge the gap. And that's what my conclusion. You think I'm looking at it from a perspective. There's a problem right now. And what I see now is we've had so many years of a lot of the young men that I've coached that have been raised by single moms, that have been raised by these separate families. And we have had so many of the years we've been focused so much on the feminine and the female that it's very difficult now to correct the situation that we have created now. It's very difficult.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question to the brothers since you guys are up here. And I want to get Lauren, then Lamar, and then A Peaceful Life. The ladies have brought up that there is a lack of masculinity, lack of leadership, and lack of masculinity. This is their synopsis for tonight. Do you think that do you agree with that assessment? Yes or no, or why? We'll start out with Lauren. Do you think that that's accurate?
No.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it depends on the lens that you're looking through. So I have no issues with the leadership that I have. Now, I do have friends who would offer suggestions, and I'm totally open to whatever they feel. Hey, in my household, we've done things this way. Okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I sincerely mean that in terms of, because I know these folks are really looking to try to benefit me from their perspective. I don't necessarily feel that I have to take it, but I'm open to receiving that information because they're looking to me in love in terms of trying to better me based on, like I said, their background. And I have no issues with that. If I choose to take pieces of it, then I'll take pieces of it. A lot of times I'll weigh it out and see if it fits in the narrative or the direction that I'm trying to go. So it's all about it being a Proverbs 16:9 in terms of letting the Lord establish my steps. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So it really depends on what I want. Now, if you feel that because I haven't taken your direction, then I'm somehow wrong, then I can appreciate that, but I look at it differently. And so they may feel that a person needs to go in and break things and bring it home, and that's a way of showing masculinity. I happen to think differently. So I don't need to break everything up, and I can think through these things logically and seem like to come to a solution that works best for me. And so, and once again, like I said earlier, hopefully am I kind of answering your questions? I apologize.
Yeah. In a roundabout way, yes. Trey has to go, so I want to acknowledge her. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're going to miss her. She hasn't asked me what I think is the solution. That's what I want her to ask me.
Dr. L, thank you so much.
She's going to have to come back on.
Yes, Dr. L, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this conversation, and I really think these are necessary conversations and that you're doing an excellent job and an excellent thing. And I look forward to doing this again with all of you. Good night. Anita, good night, V, my sisters, I love y'all. Yeah. And my brothers, I love y'all too, but that's for my girls.
Good night. Take care. Have a good night, sis.
Good night. Good night. All right. Sorry about that. You finish up, Lauren, and then we're going to get to Lamar's next.
Well, I believe if you feel that I've answered your question, then so you said it was roundabout way, so perhaps I kind of went in a different direction, or what do you think?
No. I think we got the gist that it depends on what you're attracting, where you're at, and things like that.
Right. Absolutely.
Lamar, same question. Do you think that there's a lack of masculinity? I guess we're looking at just manhood, right? Because it's our age group, which 40s, 50s, whatever, wherever we're at. Anita's 30 years old or whatever you said you were?
I'm 60, so perhaps I just think differently. I'm 60.
Okay. Well, also, there were some videos played tonight that I interpreted approaching men in the below 30, trying to get them to come up. So Lamar, again, do you think that there's a lack of masculinity among the 50-year-olds and among the younger generations?
I don't think it's necessarily with the 50-year-olds, and I would probably say from 40 on up, you probably don't have it as much. But I've dated younger, and when you date younger, and I've had conversations with younger guys in certain environments, and they are. You can use Travis Hunter as an example. You can use a lot of these athlete guys. They are feminine to a default because that's what has been done in our culture. The music is feminine. It's not the same gangster rap that we grew up in. So what has happened is that the attack is on the young black woman. She's been over sexualized to the point where it's a turnoff to men. Yes, we want a dirty girl, but we don't want a nasty girl.
Right.
And this generation is nasty. And 35 and under is nasty. 35, men over 35 are starting to put it together. They're starting to get their finances together. I don't believe any man should even consider getting married until he's at least 35 to 38 years old. Because you make yourself interesting, you've had some experiences, you're making more money, and you're more confident. And when you're more confident as a man, that's what attracts women.
Right.
Very good. A peaceful life. What say you?
I say there's a crisis in masculinity, and there's also a crisis with low self-esteem with our boys because of the having situations where they've been raised in environments without strong fathers, and because of that, many times they make, even if they don't, they make poor decisions like Travis Hunter. So there's a problem that exists with our boys. I mean, it's unfortunate, and we can try and correct that as much as we possibly can. But I think the fundamental problem right now, if you really want to fix the dating and relationship issues, we have to focus on the younger people, 18 to 30. A guy like me who's 50 years old, who's been married, has had kids, have been divorced, we're not producing no families or producing no, new generation of kids. We got to focus on the young men. So as far as, and you answered my question regarding my boys right now focus on their purpose right now. And I think from a legal perspective, we also got to change the laws with marriage and divorce because it's too easy to get into and too easy to get out of. So that has to change as well. So if you really want to solve the problem, we have to focus on the virus because right now we glimmer along the surface level. We're talking about these small things that exist with personality conflicts, but you have to start with these young men that are young. You have to start with the young ladies that are young, teach them how to be wives. And then you would have something. I mean, I think the thing that really ruined the Black community is when we got in bed with the government, our women got in bed with those damn feminists. And the worst thing they adopted is that sexual liberation part of the feminism, because that within itself created a huge problem for our community because most Black people were conservative to that point until we got in bed with those, I hate to say the word, white liberals. Once we started taking on their characteristics and their behaviors, because that's what sexual liberation is. That's from white liberal people. It encourages our women to be ran through and it's destroyed our community. And we've raised a lot of men. I'll be honest with you, we have look, even the guy that came on earlier, Yada, he's the biggest panda bear simp on the planet. But he understands the business model of pandering to women. So what we have is a crisis that needs to be correct. And we can't fix it because everybody keeps not focusing on the virus.
Okay, well, you and I are aligned in that regard. And I've always been conservative. I've always been traditional, right? So you and I are aligned in regards to that. And I've always, when I'm talking to younger people, I think that's what a lot of younger people have told me, I guess, turns them off, is I am traditional, I am devout in my Christian faith, and I've always encouraged a moral, upstanding, righteous living. I've always said that. And I agree with you that, I've been called a feminist multiple times tonight in the chat, and yet I am not, so I don't understand that. I mean, I happen to be intellectual. I think that maybe that's what's confusing people is I am intellectual, but I am not a feminist, not even close. I am the most traditional woman that most people know. And here's my thoughts. You're saying, you know, all these men have checked out and we're not, we're
Mhm.
not buying your product. Okay. And you're saying to focus on the younger people, but wouldn't you want to do that by being a good role model? Like, why can't you model what it is that you're saying you want to teach them?
I already have. So the issue is not even about that. I mean, as far as the chat is concerned, I understand entertainment. So I riz everybody up, and that gets, what is it, 123 people in here watching the stream. That helps the doctor out.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have 22 years of law enforcement experience. You play a little mind games. So I understand how that's played. I understand how to get under people's skin and how to get them going. It's not an issue. It's just a matter of, it's just business. I mean, I'm going to help my brother get as many people in here watching as possible because so we can have a logical conversation. So now that that's done and you have 120 something people in here, now we can have an intelligent conversation. So sometimes you got to understand that men are tactical and they are strategic. So don't assume that, see that, there you go. See, she's smiling now because she knows it's true.
Dude, I'm not smiling at you. I'm smiling at my phone. So
Okay. All right. Whatever.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up here. We're gonna wrap this up here. I wanna play a video to end this off here, but I do wanna appreciate everyone for coming on. It's been 2 hours and 21 minutes, and we had a great conversation. I do appreciate it. I'll give the brothers the time to wrap up, and then I'm gonna take 30 seconds, no more than 30 seconds. Just give us your final parting thing, brothers, and the sisters can take as much as they want because this was about them tonight and their thoughts. So we'll start with A Peaceful Life. Give us 30 seconds to wrap up.
Well, my thing is this, okay? For people to really solve the problem with dating relationship, people have to be more realistic. We got to focus on the younger generation. And I would say this to ladies, men respond to incentives. And right now, a lot of the brothers that are that are my age and above that are single, one, there's no incentive, especially for guys who've had established legacy, have had kids and boys to carry on their genes. Older people or us need to worry about companionships and go sit our ass at the beach and worry about the 18 to 30-year-old people that are going to have babies. So the reason why most women are unsuccessful in dealing with men, because they don't approach it from the perspective of companionship. They're approaching it from the perspective of traditionalism. But we're all have played our cards already. And it's time for the young people. I hate to say it, but it sounds terrible to say that. But that's the reality of what needs to be discussed. And I think that's why so many women are single, because they want the traditional family, want the traditional relationship. And I don't blame them for it. I don't fault them for it. But the most guys are not going to take those types of risks, especially guys who've been married before. That is really the crux of the problem. And that's really the issue. It's more than just compatibility. There's so many different issues to discuss, but I'll leave it at that.
All right, Lauren, you're next. Go ahead. 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Once again, I appreciate everyone, the wonderful discussion. I'll take some of what Ms. Anita said in some of her podcasts before, throwing a lot of these various acronyms and phraseology and terminology that's all over the internet. Half the stuff I really don't really understand. I'm just going to be transparent with who I am, and you can decide, young lady, if you want to go down my lane, and that's cool if you don't. And so I try to do that with the people that I come across. A lot of the men that I know in my church, my fraternity, people that I come across just in my daily actions are pretty much looking all for the same thing. They just want to keep it simple, keep it logical, and just be transparent. If I'm not what you want, that's cool. Thank you. So just let me know. I can carry a flag that I am a ABC person, and I'm looking for all the ABC people. So if you're an ABC person, then come my way. If you're DEF, then we can just have a discussion and pleasantries. We don't need to have a whole lot of discussions. We can knock this out in the first phone call and just keep it real. So, but if we can, everybody just lower the temperature a lot of times. Just tell what you're looking for. I'll tell you what I'm looking for. And if we're cool, cool. If not, then it's cool. I'll see you in the next thing. And so thank you very much. I appreciate everyone.
Very good. Thank you. Lamar, you got 30 seconds.
I think we're talking about two different generations. So if we're sticking to Generation X, I mean, you're going to have difficulty, men that have done work on themselves, men that are successful, men that can do the things that they weren't able to do in their marriage. They're going to do it now. And they're just going to move different. Younger, under 35, it's hypersexualized young ladies. And like I agree with what he's saying is there's a bigger problem, feminine young men and over masculine young ladies. So I don't know. I mean, I don't really. Social media is bigger, and I think in the next 10 years we'll see how damaging it truly is. So
Right.
I think we're just walking into this.
Yep.
I want to play a video that I'm going to give the sisters. Here's what we're all trying to get towards. So we'll play this, and then I'll let the sisters comment.
If you have heard a rumor about Miss Barker and I. Okay. Hands down. Hands down. Who's the brave one? Raise your hand. Who can say what that rumor is? Emily, what's that rumor?
You guys are dating.
Okay. There is a rumor going around that Miss Barker and I are dating. So it's about time that we address that, I think, because I had a couple kids come up to me at recess today and was talking about it. Okay. The answer is yes, we are dating. Quiet. And we are a little bit more than dating. And quiet, please. We are a little bit more than dating because we're in love with her. I was quiet, please. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. I was wondering if Miss Barker would like to become Mrs. Cipher.
I bet you she don't care to go 50-50.
All right. So I want to leave it off with that. So V, what your final thoughts here?
I'm trying to I don't see how that maybe I missed the mark here. Is the clip just to show that people are getting married, like we can be happy together? Is that what the clip was?
My purpose of showing the clip was, yes, people are getting married, there's still love out there, and just come together, let's work on it. And this is our ultimate goal, right? Isn't it why we're trying to come together? So that's why I want to show it.
Yeah.
Our ultimate goal is to get to that point.
Well, and I do believe, I firmly believe that there are people out here who still are looking for love, attracting love, falling in love, despite what was said tonight. I want people to be hopeful that if you have, true intentions on attracting somebody who aligns with you, and I think that's the important piece, that who aligns with you. Not everybody's going to align with you. And you know what? That's okay. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them terrible people. people that we just don't align, so like, hey, anybody I'm with, and and it's absolutely a requirement, I travel, like we travel. And if that isn't business class, it is. Like, if you must sit in economy, then so be it. Okay, then you gonna sit there by yourself with your legs cramped up into your chest on this 24-hour flight. That's fine. But I'm not sitting back there. I can tell you that, and I will say that was, that is my relationship that has leveled me up to that standard, right? But anyways, if you're not going to align with everybody, and that's okay. There is love out there. Can we just learn how to love on each other and meet each other's needs? Like, if you are in a relationship with somebody and you really want to make that relationship work, it's highly possible. Put in the work, learn what you guys need to meet each other's needs and requirements, and let's just become better people in our relationships. It's possible. I don't care what the comments said. I didn't get to read all of them, whether they're disparaging or not. And I know folks is calling us, so I don't look old at all. I don't care what my age is, but boo boo, you better look again, because this chick right here looks good. So y'all can keep that old comment and all that other stuff. These women are old. No, we're not. Okay, we are seasoned, we are mature, but we are still very, very beautiful. So and I may not align with your little young tail, right? You probably can't afford a business class ticket anyway, who may have said, that we are too old for them. That's okay. And I don't align with everybody, and I'm okay with that. We got to be okay with that.
Pause for a second. I'm just going to drop the brothers off so we'll be on you. Thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right, Lamar, we got to
Good
talk,
night,
man. I'm
y'all.
going to have you up here, man. All right.
All right, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you. Yeah.
All right.
Y'all are handsome too. Good looking men.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut
But
you off.
no, that was it. I just want people to be hopeful. I don't want the disparaging comments, like
Right.
Trey was saying earlier, like, a lot of the things that we were saying, they were in response, right? We're not going to be able to get anywhere if we don't each level up. Like, you got to become better, I got to become better. And the only way to become better is if we have conversations about it, right? And not blame each other. There's nobody to blame. Look in the mirror, fix yourself. That is the only person you can control. You can't control somebody else, right? Control what your actions are, the energy that you put out, because you are only attracted. I'm telling you, you're attracting what you are, not what you want. So if you come in with negativity, if you come in with BS, and you come in with, I'm eating tuna fish sandwiches all day, every day, and then you want to attract somebody who eats filet mignon, like, come on now, let's align and let's love who loves us back. Right? There's love out there, period.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just want to say one thing, Dr. L. I'm never going to be offended by someone who's not as brave as me. I'm never going to be offended by someone who's not doing something with their life. I'm never that, like, we gave the call, and you see there were a lot of men in the chat that didn't answer. So you can call us names. I asked the moderator to remove one gentleman because he was, again, profane and disrespectful. But the truth of the matter is this: if you're not as brave as me, if you're not as courageous as me, if you're not willing to come up here, turn your camera on and show your face and speak to us using words, okay, you can hide behind the keyboard and hide behind the camera and all of that. Like, you're not offending me. You're not making me feel away, because you're not even brave enough to do what we're doing. What do they say? That how could you feel a way about people who are not even brave enough to do what it is you're doing? Like, no, I can't be offended by people who, I wouldn't seek advice from. Like, so it's kind of sad. It's really sad. And that black pill mentality is sad. Oh, it's done for us. It's over for us. Okay, it's over for you. That's your limiting belief. Don't put that limiting belief on me. It's over for you. That's what people need to say. That's it.
All right, very good. I would appreciate. I thank you guys for coming on here, and being brave. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much to you, to V, and to Trey. I definitely want to have you guys back. This was a fiery episode.
Right.
The next time is the brothers. I'm trying to have it for next week, but if these
Do
guys
it.
would text me back, we can get on them.
Wait, Dr. L. I see a comment right here, and I'm going to address because I saw this comment earlier to something similar. Thinking that when we say we have options, when Miss Anita and I say we have options, that we only, attracted men who want to just lay the pipe. Okay, now that's not blind carbon copy. That's not even true. Come on now. If you think that we're sitting here attracting men who just want to sleep with us, you're a fool. Okay, that's not even that's not accurate. There's a lot of women out here who are attracting real options, men who come up all the time. I want to take you out. I want to get to know you. You don't think that at 50 years old, we don't know the damn difference between somebody who just wants to sleep with us?
Right.
Hell, yeah. I mean, hell, my son's friends didn't. No, I won't say that out loud, but because I think one son is here. So trust and believe. You don't think I have gotten approached by little babies, 25, 30 years old? Please give me a break. And I don't know the difference between somebody
Right.
wanting to just sleep with me. Y'all,
Right.
don't underestimate the power of an intelligent, strong, beautiful woman. Do not underestimate the woman who knows what she's doing and where she's going in life. Do not underestimate us, because I tell you, we can take your daddy and your friends with no problems.
Oh Lord. Okay.
I'm
Let me
just
give a
letting you
shout.
know.
Let me give a shout out to some members here. More with less. Thank you so much for being a member. My girl Les, a member. Wendy, a member. Glorious Love, a member. Jamisha E, a member. Eric Deadman, a member. High Vibe is a member. Dana Ryan, a member. Rhonda Payne, a member. Dub B Trey is a member. And thank you so much to
Good.
all the moderators, Miles, a couple other people.
And
Um,
Emmanuel, no, whoever said, I never came on here and said I was single. I never said anything.
Yep.
all right. I don't want to
See.
argue back and forth. Let me
Yep.
some super chats I want to read. Mr. Stu, $4.99. Thank you so much for something for the collection plate.
Mhm.
Nitty, $4.99. Thank you so much. And Miles, $4.99. I appreciate all of you guys for that. And
Mhm.
sometimes I get cash apps. I'm not exactly sure if you guys want me to read those or not. But I do appreciate the cash apps. If I've never said it before, when sometimes the show's over and people will cash at me, so I definitely appreciate all those. I actually do use it for lunch, so
Oh,
so
all
so
right.
I appreciate that. I thank you guys for coming on. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say? I'm sorry well, I'm sorry, not sorry about the chat there. It's good and bad, right? So, is there anything else you wanted to say? Anything else you want to address, Miss Anita? I mean,
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
No,
All right.
I'm good. Y'all have a beautiful,
Rest of
positive
your week.
week. Yep, you can define your day. Just, define it in
Mhm.
a great way.
Mhm.
You control your reality, period.
That's it.
Yeah, I got a crush on me, right? That's some crazy mess here. All right, y'all. So thank you guys so much. It's been 2 hours and 37 minutes, longest one so far. You guys have a great night. I will see you guys. Take care to the chat and to the lovely ladies here. Thank you so much. You guys are brave. Much love.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, y'all.